generation.
Next, a strange accident leads to shocking betrayal.
You are the key to this entire mystery, and you have done nothing but block my every attempt to solve it.
Hidden motives hide an alien threat.
What really happened to us?
I cannot answer that.
Dangerous forces control the fate of the crew.
I looked into the mirror. It wasn't me, Worf.
Take us back to the scene of the crime.
This ship must be destroyed.
Deadly secrets on Star Trek: The Next Generation. Data's shocking betrayal hides a mysterious alien threat on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Next time on Star Trek: The Next Generation, a hostile alien race threatens to annihilate an entire planet.
The lives of 15,000 people are riding on you.
We are not leaving.
Data's mission: force an evacuation.
You will die, and their weapons are far more powerful.
But his own life is in jeopardy. On Star Trek: The Next Generation. Data fights to save a planet from hostile aliens on the next exciting episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation. Hostile aliens on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Picard and Dr. Crusher are kidnapped.
The charges are conspiring with the enemy.
And fitted with mysterious mind probes
Seems to be connected directly to the brainstem.
that link them telepathically.
The implants must be transmitting our thoughts.
Now, for the first time,
I promised myself that I would never tell you how I felt.
they share their most intimate secrets.
Why didn't you ever tell me you were in love with me?
Next time on Star Trek: The Next Generation. Picard and Dr. Crusher are kidnapped
The charges are conspiring with the enemy.
on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Next time on Star Trek: The Next Generation, a life-saving mission uncovers a mysterious humanoid.
Who are you? What are you?
He is one of 4 escaped prisoners.
Is he the helpless victim of an evil plot?
I cannot control what is happening to me.
Or a fugitive who could destroy the crew?
They don't know how dangerous you are.
Find out on Star Trek: The Next Generation. A mysterious humanoid poses a deadly threat to the crew of the Enterprise on Star Trek: The Next Generation. Dangerous humanoid on Star Trek: The Next Generation. Next time on Star Trek: The Next Generation, a helpless Dr. Crusher watches all her friends and family vanish.
They're all gone?
An unexplained force leads to an invisible massacre.
There are now over 900 missing.
Confusion turns to desperation.
I need you to tell me if I've gone completely mad.
Is it a deadly mind game or a real-life nightmare on Star Trek: The Next Generation? The entire crew is disappearing and only Dr. Crusher can save them on the next Star Trek: The Next Generation.
A bizarre accident turns man into machine.
Lieutenant, you are probably the most advanced human being who ever lived.
A new power takes command of the Enterprise.
How do we get him out of there?
We don't. Not without killing him.
And he's sending the crew on a death mission.
We are in danger.
Remove yourself from the computer system.
And we have lost computer control.
12 seconds to critical.
Mind Trap on the next exciting episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation. An officer transforms into a powerful threat and sends the Enterprise on a death mission on Star Trek: The Next Generation. The Enterprise has taken on a life of its own
I believe the Enterprise may be forming an intelligence.
and is turning fantasy into real-life danger.
You saying the ship is under the control of the holodeck?
Now, can anyone regain control of the Enterprise
I don't know if we can stop the ship.
before it sacrifices the entire crew?
It's an earthquake.
Next time on Star Trek: The Next Generation. The Enterprise takes on a life of its own and is turning fantasy into real-life danger. Next time on Star Trek: The Next Generation. Picard. A harmless game becomes a dangerous addiction,
What if someone's trying to use the game for some purpose other than pleasure?
and the crew fall victim to its evil hypnotic powers.
We can't trust anyone anymore, not even the captain.
Can Wesley rescue the crew from total mind control, or is he next?
We've got him, Captain.
High-tech nightmare on the next exciting episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation. A harmless game becomes a dangerous addiction of mind control on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Next time on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
I'm strong, I'm alert, I'm getting younger.
A dying commander takes a youth drug to fight terrorists holding hostages. But will dangerous side effects jeopardize their mission?
If we don't deliver Jameson in 5 minutes, one of the hostages will be executed.
Sir, look out!
Find out on Star Trek: The Next Generation. The crew battles terrorists to stop a hostage crisis on Star Trek: The Next Generation. Hostage crisis on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Haunts her in her sleep. Beverly. A terrifying presence who wants her soul. And will kill anyone who stands in his way.
Be together. Always.
Now, will his seductive power take possession of Dr. Crusher?
I'm leaving Starfleet.
Or can she escape his deadly clutches?
Come on, Beverly, we've got to get out of here.
Next time on Star Trek: The Next Generation. Crusher is haunted by a terrifying stranger and struggles to escape his deadly clutches on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Next time on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
What am I doing here?
Commander Data is held hostage by powerful aliens.
If I help you escape, will you take me with you?
Will he break free and survive his capture? Or will he face death trying to escape?
No life signs.
Find out on the next exciting episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation. Will Commander Data die at the hands of powerful aliens? Find out on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Okay, hello everybody. That is not the right screen. Let's try this one. There we go. That's the correct screen. Hello everybody. We're professional till the end. Welcome to Star Trek Trek. We are watching today one of the finest Star Trek films in existence. Although Frank disagrees, but you know.
One of the 13 best.
Certainly one of the 13 Star Trek films in existence. We're going to be watching First Contact. Just a preamble for those guys, because we've got a few new chatters in chat, and so thank you to Matthew Shook, Twiley 4, and Maze 4, Matthew Shook. Thank you for coming. So, just because we know how copyright law works, we won't be physically watching it here, but we were watching along. So we'll have a time code, we'll have a blurred version of the image in the corner, and we'll have subtitles on screen, so you can track your own copy, watch along with us, and sort of talk along with us. And then after we've watched along, we'll be doing our Trek review, which will then get republished. So hopefully you can stick around and watch this along with us.
You know, people think we're being mean, but we tried watching Wrath of Khan with it on screen. Rick Berman came and knocked on my door, and...
He was there.
The rest is under NDA, but trust me, we've got to do it this way from now on.
It's weird. The viewer's negative now. It's
just
I left the stream. Yeah. That's how it happened.
So we got a few guests. So along with myself, Stars and Auto above me here, we've got Frank's here as well. Obviously, he's a regular member too. Hi, Frank. We have regular chat and #1 Trek Time fan. We have Overtired in the chat, and we have the one and only Parmakai of one, Stars and Garters here. We have Brody. Gentlemen, welcome to the stream.
Hello.
The Chudich will be silent.
And we go, because this is a film, we're going six big. Okay, so how we traditionally start. Let's start with a trailer. Are you ready for this? So I found this is the very first trailer that came out. Picture yourself, it's 1996. Just out of interest, a vague sort of like age group here. I was 12 years old when I first saw the trailers, first saw the hype for this film.
Do you want to ask this question? Do you really want to ask the question?
Maybe I don't. When you first heard about the premise of First Contact, this is going to be the TNG crew with a whole new ship encountering the Borg. How did you feel?
How did you feel?
Auto.
I was too young to care. I was just watching whatever was on UPN at the time. So a lot of Voyager, a lot of TNG. I would have been... I think I was 7 or 8, so I wouldn't have been to see it in the movies, but...
Okay,
you got to ask the newer films for that kind of question. Or get shy on.
I'm going to ask Frank, actually, because Frank is the
there you go.
The most seasoned on this.
Ask the old man. So, I had been reading about it in, I think it was Starlog. It was one of those magazines. And you know, the internet really wasn't too much of a thing, although it was a thing. So there was a little bit of idea going around of what it was. At the time I was working in the mall, and at the bottom of the mall was an 8-screen movieplex. And when the trailer hit in front, I don't think this trailer, but the actual theatrical trailer, a friend of mine that worked at the movie theater said, hey, like anytime there's a cool trailer like Star Wars or something, you'd say, hey, we're going to run it. Come down and look. So I saw the trailer in a movie theater, and then I actually saw the movie in that movie theater. It was exciting because it looked gorgeous. Mm-hmm. It was just the cinematography. It just looked gorgeous. I didn't care about the plot. I didn't understand the plot. And then it turns out I didn't like the plot, but we'll get to that.
Finally, some opposition.
Some juice. Is it started yet? No, we're about to start soon. We're going to watch a trailer first, so I will be showing that to you with audio and everything, because trailers are fine, fair game. So let's go over, check this out, and then we're going to pre-rate. So, first trailer, let's go.
In his nightmares, he can see them. In his mind, he can hear them.
Look who it is.
In his soul, he can feel them.
I've just received report from Deep
Space 5. Long-range sensors have picked up...
Yes, I know.
That's Wrath of Khan music.
That is, yeah.
Set a course for Earth.
Yeah, they cannibalized a lot.
Now,
Yeah.
in Earth's darkest hour, he must fight them again.
Earth.
Life signs? Population approximately 9 billion. All Borg.
How?
Time travel.
They went back and assimilated Earth. Changed history. I must follow them back. Repair whatever damage they've done.
But this time, they must travel to the past
April 4th, 2063.
to save our future.
You're all astronauts.
No, no.
Some kind of Star Trek.
Okay, I found my word.
I love that line.
Fall back. They assimilate entire worlds, and we'll fall back. Not again. The line
Oh, this is undiscovered country, yeah.
Yes, it is.
Next 26
Yeah, you got your undiscovered country. Ba, 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 ba.
Don't let them touch you! Captain! Data!
Captain!
We must activate the auto-destruct sequence.
Auto. I wish he was his auto-destruct sequence.
You coward.
What does it say that they're showing so much of the movie and I'm
This
like,
is
but they're
90s
missing out on all the
trailers,
good
they do
bits?
Let's rock and roll!
And there's so much they're not showing.
Watch your futures end.
Our shields and our weapons are gone.
Resistance is futile.
Perhaps today is a good day to die.
John, look, blow up the damn ship!
No! We are not going to lose the Enterprise. Not to the Borg, not while I'm in command.
The ending on the explosion is so 90s, I love that.
Salute this national anthem. Okay, so this is where we do pre-ratings. Okay, I'm gonna start here. So I imagine that I like I said.
Well, hold on.
Oh, go on.
Since Stars loves
that's
this,
true,
you don't happen to have a Schiller pre-rating, do you?
Ooh.
I'm pre-rating for a Schiller code.
I've never done this before.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, this is unprecedented. This is okay. Okay. How many flecks of space dust coming off the maglock handles out of 10 would you like to pre-rate this?
Okay.
Wow, that's specific. All right, so
I've
I'm
seen
12
this
years
movie
old.
a lot of times.
I've recently discovered that Star Trek is my identity. And I've pick up, like Frank says, pick up the Star Log. I believe it was a different SFX in this country, and you open it and you're reading about this new film. And already I watched TNG. I've seen the best of both worlds. I've gone through the long summer of 3 months without Star Trek, or that amazing cliffhanger. We've seen lots of Borg, and then they show the trailer with the lasers going through the blackness, and I go through the magazine. Oh my God, there's a new Enterprise, and it's really cool. And it's just generally the most hype I've ever been for a film. To this day, I don't think I've ever been more hyped for a film than I was for First Contact back when I was 12 years old. So I'm definitely pre-rating this a 10 out of 10. And I have watched this recently. It is still a 10 out of 10. I am a whore for this film.
Sorry, 10 what?
10 flecks of space dust coming off the maglocks on the saucer section of... on the deflector dish of the
Close
Enterprise
enough.
E. Yeah, there you go.
Very well done.
Okay, we'll come back to you last. Let's go to one of our new faces. Brody, give us a pre-rating. Hello?
Or has he still got pushed to... there you go.
There you go.
Trip. That trailer was something. Oh boy.
Say what's in your heart, what you know to be true.
You know what? It feels like a solid 9 pre-rating.
I'll talk you up to a 10.
Sort myself.
I mean, I'm sure you could, but yeah, no, that was a lot, and it was, and my little baby Brody didn't watch Star Trek when he was growing up. I watched Babylon 5 and Stargate.
That's fine.
But I feel like this would have gotten me in. Is definitely interesting. Yeah, no, a good solid 9. Good showing.
Commendable.
Overtired. Talk to us. How did you feel?
How did you feel?
Well, just off the trailer, it's trailer. It does the trailer certainly does the job of a trailer. It's like 10 out of 10 hype trailer.
The most trailer you've ever trailed.
Right. Yeah. And it's, especially too for TNG as the cast, like it's a much more like, this is like what you want out of a TNG movie than like Generations it's got its moments, but it's a lot of fused kind of stuff going on. And this is just like next gen, like it's happening, the Borg, not someone you've never heard of fighting a space ribbon. What's going, so,
the guy from
as like
Orange is there. What's going on?
Yeah. So, I would comfortable giving it 10 out of 10. Flecks of space dust coming off the mag locks.
Okay, Frank, give us yours.
The trailer was amazing. The trailer was great, with the exception of some pacing issues. Going back in time to 1996, seeing that, it's like, oh my God, for the first time, we're not getting Klingons as a villain. This is great. And they set it up, and it's like, but who's this chick that's bald and a Borg? I don't know about her. And then, okay, so we're going back in time, Back to the Future. This is kind of weird. But it looks amazing. And then, you realize that they're playing the stock Star Trek II music underneath it that a lot of space movies and generic trailers did. That goes back 1986. In the beginnings of 1986, there was a trailer for Transformers the movie, and they had the Wrath of Khan music.
Did they really?
Underneath it, yes.
Are you sure it wasn't just general, just Holst in general? Because they're very similar.
Nope. they did the thing. So it this is a long-standing tradition. That said, I also have seen this movie somewhat recently, and I am steadfast in my opinion, and I will not be swayed. But I'm being nice, and I'm giving it a slight bump. This is a solid 7.3. Okay. 25-pound bag of space dust emanating from a maglock airlock in the vacuum of space, which makes perfect sense.
Frank, I am not a nugget. Blackheart is asking for the link to the Transformers trailer, so we'll pop it in a chat if you could acquit our loyal chat. Auto.
Listen, you made the claim. Now you have to, prove it.
Facts.
Let me make it real quick. Hold on.
So I was watching the Swedish curling team just before joining, and their skip is her surname is Hasselborg. So I feel like that's a good omen for this movie.
You need to Hasselborg. It's true.
So, as evidenced by the draft board, I'm the only one who didn't draft a movie. I don't give them a special bump. They have 30 times the budget. And if you can make me feel things in a fraction of the time that a movie can't, then I actually give you more credit than a movie. So, I'm not going to give it a movie bump. Also, they may not have single-handedly ruined the Borg, but they're the catalyst to ruining the Borg. And making them sarcastic and sexy is just one of the dumbest things ever. So I'm going to pre-rate this a 9. It's a fantastic movie. I'm going to give you a chance to talk me up, but I don't think you can reach a 10 just because of that Borg element. So 9 flecks of polyurethane space dust coming off the maglock. Thingamajig, whatever.
All right, Stars, before we start watching... give us. I can only predict what you're going to do, but I feel like you're on the same lines as me.
So, it's important to give some context in that, my experience with Star Trek started with a few different things. It started with a box set of Star Trek TNG Season 1 and Season 1 only. It started with a DVD of Wrath of Khan and a DVD of First Contact. These were the 3 things that I had access to watching consistently whenever I wanted. I watched TNG and Voyager. Not a lot of DS9. I don't think it really aired as much in the UK when I was growing up. But suffice it to say, this movie and Wrath of Khan and TNG Season 1 are sort of they are the foundation blocks in which I understand and relate to Star Trek. I have a very special relationship with it. I know it off by heart and back to front. When I got my new TV, which has a cool backlight feature and HDR and all that. Guess what? The first thing I watched on it was Star Trek First Contact, and it looked gorgeous. I would like to give you an objective rating, and especially and to interpret based on the trailer, but I cannot. It is impossible for me to be objective about this.
Same.
It would be like asking me to be objective about my fond memories of my 7th birthday party. I can't. It's a part of me. So this is absolutely 10 out of 10 flecks of space dust coming off the baglock handles. It's not the Star Trek for everyone, but it is maybe the most Star Trek I can think of. It is so archetypal in so many ways. Even I'm sure people would disagree with that. I know that there's a very vocal group about, and I see the points, but you will never convince me this is not archetypal Star Trek to me. You will never convince me.
Okay, well, everyone watching, load up your Blu-ray drives, your Paramount Pluses, your VHS copy with a battered version of this, because of course you've watched it 3 million times. How could you not? We're going to be starting this episode very soon. So let me just make sure I've got all my eggs in, all my ducks in a row. We've got that there, that there, that there. Fantastic. Okay, so we are going to start this episode. Now we'll have subtitles on screen. Have a blurry copy in the corner so we don't get in trouble. It's fine. Just so you can keep track. So we're going to start this in 5.
Don't worry, I'll put like a pirate copy in the chat for everyone. I'll do that. I'll take that hit.
I'll just hold up my phone and I'll be playing it on my phone like this, so you can watch it there.
Okay.
Sweet infinity shot.
Yes. It says things right. Okay. Starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Punch it.
Yeah, Blackheart, if you're new to the channel, Idol will never get a clean countdown, a clean introduction in his life. We always talk over him.
Interrupt him. Always.
Yeah.
It's a sign of love, really. Oh, God, the soundtrack's so good.
It's just a great way to intro it. The theme, the Jerry Goldsmith's really good work in this.
Yeah.
The soundtrack is incredible.
A Rick Berman production.
That's my.
Maybe they should have put that early. Yeah, that's the worst moment.
I'm not as keen on these fading titles. They're a bit disconcerting.
They're very, very 1990s.
Yeah.
Like, they are extremely of the time.
I think Blade did the same. Well, there was another film I was watching. I was like, hang on, that's the First Contact titles. Yeah.
But in the scope of things, what it's pulling out too, it's brilliant. That I have no problem with the score of this movie. The score is top notch, and like I said earlier, the cinematography is fantastic. And you know what? For a first-time feature film director, the director of this film that we'll see credited in a moment, not a bad job either.
I just, the economy of filmmaking, if you have 30 times the budget, is this really 30 times better than a great episode of Star Trek? No. So
no.
I just logically can't make that leap. It's fantastic. If you took them all individually, it's one of the best, but is it 30 times better than an episode? So,
and that's my problem with
Frakes is the director because, Generations was a pretty good success. Like, it did well in the box office. So they thought, right, we're going to go fucking big. We're going to have the one that's going to blow everyone out of the water. And they couldn't get
I think they offered it. They offered it and didn't like who they heard back from. So,
just to touch on like the budget thing though, like because it's a movie budget, they able to do new Borg suits and then they use those on Voyager and just true. Like the spacesuits.
The
for
sheer
the crew,
investment,
right? Like it, and like the practical sets, you wouldn't have got that on TV. Like the only reason we had a physical prop for Next Gen for shuttles is because they used it from the movies. So like Star Trek really benefits from being able to cannibalize itself. And you get that movie prop in a TV show, which you would have had to just have done without.
Yeah. So. Yeah. No, it's also a case of just like, you can see the money on screen. Like, this is not one of those movies where like, you look at the budget and you go, there's no way you could justify that budget to me.
Ronald D. Moore. There's my best one.
I love Ronald D. Moore. Every single dollar they spent on this movie is on screen. 2 takes Frakes.
Here he is.
The goat.
Oh, what a shot. I have a friend who is ridiculously like phobic of any eyeball stuff on screen, like anything involving eyeballs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I
you
can
not
see
a
how
fan
this would
either?
have.
Wow. Yeah.
There's a bit in Dead Space 2 that gets me. Brody knows what I mean.
Oh yeah, when it pierces the eyeball coming up, that's pretty visceral.
I like this shot as well. That's really great.
It really sells you on the scale of the ship.
Oh,
and they get you with the double jump scare too.
Oh, there's J. Paul Bamer in his alcove.
GoPro shot.
Oh, this would predate the GoPro, wouldn't it?
It would, yeah. Yeah.
So much mileage out of just a laser at a camera.
It's creepy. Like that first promo was loads of lasers appearing out of the dark. Oh,
here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The little when he just bends the lens.
Yeah. Ooh. That's a tone setter. Like this is. Ooh.
It's not over yet, is it?
No grapes were harmed in the filming of this production.
The rare time we see a bathroom. Wow,
yeah, that's true. Yeah. You see one in the Final Frontier as well.
Oh, this is a nice effect.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, that's.
We get that a couple times in Voyager, I think, the under the skin.
Yeah.
Wake the fuck up, Jean-Luc.
And these like uniforms are still a design classic.
All 7 Alpha Tango.
They're okay. I used to be in love with them, but I have turned on them a little bit. That's the wrong Deep Space Station.
How is it wrong?
It's not Deep Space Nine. I know it doesn't make any sense.
There are other
but...
Deep Spaces.
Can you turn up the volume a little bit?
Yes, I can.
I've got it cranked. Sorry.
Sorry, yeah.
God, that's a beautiful ship.
There you go.
So that's.
Oh, it's such a good ship. It's such a good intro as well.
And it's still silhouetted in darkness, so you see it and you're like, damn, but you don't really see it yet. That's coming up.
Straight into the conference room.
Yeah, that's how you do the TNG movie.
Typhon.
Oh, I love Stewart's acting in this.
Dude, it's pretty fucking stupid of Starfleet. Come on. Your top of the line ship is going to sit on the border.
But it kind of tracks with,
take Picard off. That's simple as.
Yeah, bring back Jellicoe and then take the E to the battle.
Yeah.
They would have put Riker in charge, but he's directing.
Like the lip line on Crusher there.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got good hair in this film. Is this real hair or is it a wig? I can't remember when they changed over.
I forget.
This is not Carrot Top Orange, so it might be her real hair.
God, that's a beautiful ship.
Yeah. Bizet?
Berlioz. Idiot.
I just did a clip for the shorts on the channel for Worf's introduction in Picard, and it is this track. And I'd forgotten that. Nice reflection.
Oh, that fade in.
Yeah.
Frank's just like flexing, just like, look, you like this?
So he just let himself into Picard's room?
Yeah.
That's insubordinate.
That's a lot of space to us.
Here's your killer rating.
Killer rating 4/5.
I don't like this ambient noise. I'm not used to it in the same way of the D or the Voyager or whatever else.
It's different, yeah.
Have you tried telling them to go fuck themselves?
That's coming. Admiral Hayes is a bitch.
He does. I don't think he gets blown up, but he comes damn close.
No, I think he does.
The intercom sounds like it's being beamed into my head.
I think he turns up in Voyager, Hayes.
Right, yeah. Is that the real Hayes, though? I thought that was...
Yeah, he has like 3 other appearances, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Hawk.
Yeah. What did we rate this
The
bridge?
bad guy in every other movie.
What did we rate this
I
bridge?
think I rated it pretty decently.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Boy, it's so young there. Look at that.
Yeah. I think we did knock it because there's these weird pillars that don't add anything to the bridge.
This is a cool scene because they're just listening, and you're as tense as they are. Like, it's really good.
Yeah.
There's Armstrong.
Oh, yeah. Meanwhile, Wesley Crusher's just getting high on space travelers somewhere.
No, Adam Scott comes in, on the Defiant in a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's Jay.
No, this is the E idol.
Lieutenant Jay.
Yes, I know.
No, it must be Tuesday.
It will be noted, it will be ignored.
I mean, did he really have to wait to hear this to go?
Slight continuity issue. Like, they go from the Romulan border to Earth, like, pretty fucking quick.
Well, doesn't this thing go at, like, warp 9.95? Like, it's
Still,
ridiculously
it is,
fast.
like, halfway across the Alpha Quadrant, isn't it? But, you know what?
That's a bit of the J.J. Abrams 7 minutes to Vulcan problem.
Yeah.
Good thing they never made a map.
Oh, this theme. I love this theme. So bombastic.
And also just like that, like encroaching on Earth like that, and then the photon.
I will give Picard season 2 some credit because in the episode where the Borg Queen takes over the La Sirena, they play that music and it's just like, yeah, that's good.
I feel like Picard did a really good job with their musical cues.
There he is, Adam Scott.
There's your Adam Scott.
Yes.
It's so good they just brought in the Defiant. That's the
Oh,
big
yeah.
universe stuff you love.
All right, everyone shut up. Here it comes.
Yes. Fuck yeah.
Now that's the money shot. See, that's where your 30 times budget came in. You don't get to do that on TV.
Actually, they did it on Strange New Worlds.
Oh, the Admiral did die.
What was it, episode 5 or 6? 5.
They did, yes.
That was a gorgeous shot.
It was very good.
Saves a Farragut, yeah.
That was the really problematic episode, though.
Okay, how did no one think of focus fire before Jean-Luc showed up? Like, come on.
Like, where do you fire?
I think it's because it's a random spot. That's the thing.
Where do you start on a Rubik's Cube? Like, top left
With the
corner,
middles.
right?
You start with the correct spot, obviously.
His expression, like,
The little
well.
eyebrows. Eyebrows.
Spider's made a career out of those eyebrows.
That's so good.
Are we going to get that quantum boom in a moment?
Yeah. Go Akira. Akira!
Yes. Fire the Polaron torpedo from Armada.
Yeah.
I've never gotten the chance to see this on the big screen. I want to because I want to know what those quantum torpedoes sound like on the big screen.
So when I saw this in the cinema, it was somewhat annoying because I had one guy behind me. He was excited, but he was very vocally excited. He was like, "Yeah!" I was like, oh, "Fucking shut up."
Whoever's the tactical officer on the E should get a promotion. Like,
Well, I have good news. He's about to get promoted to customer or something else.
I really can't. I can't even appreciate this. Like, the Defiant coming in would be so fucking cool. Imagine if they made a movie now and like the Strange New Worlds Pike ship comes in, you'd lose your fucking mind at that.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, this is before all the Marvel interconnected universes stuff. You're just like, holy shit, this is great. You know,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah. And you get the Doctor later on as well.
Yeah. Which, again, perfect sense. Like, it just works.
And for fans of Star Trek timelines, this is the new Fleet Boss Battle Bridge.
How
dare you.
What
That
words
is a
are
fun
these? I do
effect.
not understand.
I like the
Yeah, I love
pulsing
that.
waves around the outside.
That's cool.
It's a bit minty fresh, but I'll take it.
No, Blackheart, I'm not saying it would be in this movie. I'm saying if they like made a new movie and,
Yeah, if
and
it was
some other contemporaneous ship showed up, that would be awesome.
If they did Kelvin 4 and then we had like Anson Mount and the Stranger Worlds Pike come in from an alternate universe, you'd just be like, yes, perfect.
Yeah.
Old Borg.
Yeah.
Sounds Swedish.
All right, Lily.
Wow, Bev just got a third of her lines already.
Yeah, that is one of the few rare problems.
Hang on, let me check. It's one of her 339 words in this episode.
They make it up to her in the next movie. She gets to talk about her boobs. So
Because season 3 was the apology, let's be real.
I do like the little planet work where you see the Borg webs interconnecting the continents.
Yeah, it's good. It's good production design.
If we ever have like a Star Trek book stream, I will talk about the insanity that is Star Trek Coda and how this film like impacts the entire Star Trek literary universe. It's wild and involves the Davidians somehow.
That's the reason why those books were decanonized.
it was amazing. The Borg opened a temporal wake to go back in time, and the Earth was exactly where it was just then. It wasn't anywhere else in its orbit.
It's fine.
It was exactly right there, which is like...
Turns out the exact same
cool.
rotation at that time. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Black Nugget, Nugget Black, don't read the books. Fun fact, Constellation Leo has Wolf 359 in it.
Of course it does. I love this little shot.
Yeah.
Just enough time for them to look at each other.
Egon. Wasn't that character from Ghostbusters?
Egon, but
Oh, right.
close.
Jean Grey will help.
The little bicycle.
Yeah, the bicycle was always the most random bit.
How can we tell these people are destitute? Corrugated iron roofs.
I mean, to be fair, they're not doing too bad for post-nuclear war.
Yeah.
Fallout has looked a lot worse.
True.
The Borg are doing really bad for a super interstellar power.
It's true,
These are
actually, yeah.
Beautiful explosions.
They're out of their element. Wait, there's 3 of them? Did I miss one?
Now, another problem I have with this movie. The Borg could go anytime and assimilate Earth and stop everything, but they choose to go against humans who just blew up half their planet.
Yeah. Well...
And killed half their people with nukes. They probably would do it again.
That's probably
that's
I
the
do
thing,
what you're saying. Like, you probably go back a bit further, maybe like the Roman Empire,
Yes!
or like, yeah.
Nah, all the infrastructure's gone, and like the technology is in a sweet spot where it's just good enough to be worthwhile, but like they can't pose an actual threat to you. It makes perfect sense.
I mean, if we want to get into it, like the time travel issue is an issue because if they can do it at will, then why would you fly to Earth, get blown up, then go back in time?
Hang on. There's too many negative thoughts about this film going on right now. I'm not happy about
Hey,
this.
maybe it's not a 10. How about that?
Precisely, Marty.
Listen, the Department of Temporal Investigations fixed it. It's fine. That's what Captain Braxton was fixing.
All they've got to do is go back to 1955 and get Gray's Sports Almanac and then bet on a horse race. And then they've got all the money.
I thought you were going to say that there should be a giant subplot where like the Borg had to stop Mistral from inventing Velcro.
We just
I don't know about that.
Future Picard, Earth life forming, and stop that.
I don't know about that trench coat on Picard. It's not his style.
It's a bit bulky.
I think like Crusher's like kind of little bomber jacket is cool.
Yes.
Yeah, that was quite nice. It's almost like Wrath of
It's
Khan,
very,
actually.
yeah, I was going to say.
Oh, there's a Crusher stunt double in the back there as well.
It probably is, actually.
No, it is.
Oh, yeah. Okay, nice.
We got to drop off Crusher and get back to the real plot.
See, this is one of those other things you can't do on a TV budget.
Big fuck off nuclear missile.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Alfred Woodard. Did you ever watch much Luke Cage? Anyone?
I did, yeah. She's great in that.
She's very good.
I missed Mahershala Ali after the first season, but I still really liked her.
They did a swear in a Star Trek. What?
Well, Generations did that.
By the way, he does this better in Arsenal of Freedom.
I think, yeah, that one effect of like the kind of the
great,
foreshortening there doesn't quite. Yeah. It's not the best, but it's fine.
Oh, 9.9. Although this,
yeah, but this shot. Guess what? That bumps it back up to a 10.
The little nod. He's just like, hello. He's an albino.
He's from South America.
Yeah, Carlos.
I'm glad you got that.
You've got to get rid of me again.
Somehow.
No, you won't.
I mean, she did a pretty... Guess what? Everything would have gone fine if it weren't for the Borg.
That's true. Famous last
Every time she enters a scene, they've got to get her out as soon as possible.
And talk about a crappy doctor. She did not inoculate Data. Data could get sick.
That's true.
Happened before.
Hey, if he can get drunk in the naked time, then he can definitely get sick.
Just like they didn't have to put engineering in here. It's rarely used, apart from like maybe the final shot. But goddamn,
no, they use when the Borg.
They do, but I mean, they could have done that with the bridge. Like it's
first show up.
They could have done it with the cargo bay.
Yeah.
Actually, all the Borg isn't all the Borg stuff with the Queen done in that room.
Yeah.
So
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
They got their money's worth out of that.
This is a fun shot. Camera shot.
You're right about that trench coat. Hangs over his arms too much. His hands.
Because they did get to film in an actual missile silo. So
did they? I didn't know that.
That's dope.
Yeah, this is not a set.
Awesome.
Or a prop missile.
Turns out they didn't have the budget to make a nuke, so they just bought one.
No, they got the robot from Lost in Space and zoomed in on him.
Data's like, if you want to touch metal, I'm right here.
I've read that fanfic.
Now, here's another problem I have. Picard says he's gone to the Smithsonian hundreds of times. Okay. I maybe have gone to the same grocery store hundreds of times, and that's to get sustenance to live on. Why is this man a career-focused man?
Because he's a liar, Frank.
No, this is what he does on his 237 days of leave.
Have you considered that Jean-Luc Picard may be a massive nerd?
No, I think he's a liar and a fraud.
I like that jacket on Troy.
Oh, Troy's good in this great film.
He's stripped out.
I do like that they're all under the assumption that he's exactly as they read in their historical books, and that he's not what he is.
Yeah, they think he's Gene Roddenberry and not Gene Roddenberry.
Which lends to my theory that TOS is just a stage play created by future incarnations of Starfleet, and that the Cochran they depict in TOS is a romanticized version.
I don't know. I always took it like they knew his faults and just took it in stride. They're not like surprised at a lot of his stuff.
I'm not detecting it.
When they're like, when he says why he built the warp engine, they're not like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Good shadow work there too.
Yeah, good horror, a lot of horror tropes here.
It's such a Star Trek does a horror movie and does it well. Like I love a good genre shift. This woman is like the sweatiest person who's ever lived.
Well, no, they both are. Didn't they say like environmental systems are down or something?
Yeah, they're very hot.
Yeah, they've been messing with the humidity and stuff like that. But it's just like he looked alright. Like she looks like she's going through. I feel for her. I've been there. It's not great.
Dude, he's a better empath than Deanna.
Yeah. I mean,
she's the one saying, "What is it?"
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't feel the horror of your crewmates, but he can.
Oh, look at this walk and
Like
talk.
there's a
Everyone's just following him.
Walk-
Like, what's
walk
going
and
on? What's
run.
going on? Let's go.
Yeah. It's such a good set of drama to it. Like they're talking about atmospheric conditions, and it's like the most dramatic thing in the world.
That's because of his reaction to it, so you know it's something serious.
This is Voyager, isn't it?
Hey, Ogawa. Yes, this is Voyager sickbay.
Yeah. What?
I do love that they had a list in here.
Turns up on the ship immediately in the captain's chair.
Love that camera follow as well, like from perspective outwards. That's good.
Oh, dynamic MSD as well.
Hmm.
What is he wearing?
What a good look! Oh my god! That's like some.
It's my granddad's. Yeah.
Refugee.
I like how Data approximates a dramatic human look up at Picard.
Oh, Hutchinson taught him that.
Yeah, what is the mean temperature on Arcaria, anyways? Out the little replicator on the wall is blinking. That's how I know it's bad.
Yeah. How are we getting our old grey?
There we go.
All right,
Alpha
Hawk
1,
just
1, 3, 4,
matched
2.
Crusher's word count for the episode.
What did Hawk get, actually?
He got killed.
He did get killed. He also had about 200 words less than Crusher, so...
Spoiler alert.
That's a great line. That's a really good line. Bit TOS with the lights, though.
Oh, lens flare.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah. An appropriate time as well.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've been noticed about like Starfleet Academy is like there's usually like 5 or 6 shots where I get annoyed at a lens flare. It's too much of it.
Oh, really? I don't think I've noticed it, but... There he is. Whoop, whoop.
That's how you know it's the Voyager sickbay.
Recite some opera.
Okay, you're the dancing doctor. Why don't you sacrifice yourself?
Because she's flesh and blood and we don't
Oh, you
prioritize
racist.
holograms. Yeah.
You racist.
Yeah. This was the first case. I do like the little bump against the bulkhead. That's great.
Oh, Picard is so good.
I love the story of Picardo getting that role as well. I'm sure everyone's heard.
Yeah, no, where he just like he just talked his way into it, which is guess what? That's canny.
That's
And
great.
everyone's happy where he did it.
It's so good.
He's a less subtle Michael Dorn who actually gets the cameos he wants.
To this day.
Oh, my
to
favorite
this day,
phaser rifle
he is still
design.
getting in Star Trek.
So this is just the Voyager cargo bay.
Oh, is it?
Oh, is it? Okay. I can see it now, yeah.
I thought you would have memorized the Memory Alpha page, Stars.
And I've been memorizing the movie.
Actually, based
I do love
the
the commentary. Oh yeah, it's very aliens. The commentary for the scene is great because I think this is the point at which Freight starts talking about extras who can act pretty decently. or at least like put on a decent tough face if they're playing security guys. Because you get a lot of people just, how well can you pose? Fucked up line.
Well, yeah.
It's part
He's
of
not
his
wrong,
character.
but yeah. I wonder how much they had to pay to get Ooby Dooby and the other.
As much as they paid for Sabotage.
That's why it's 30 times the budget of an episode.
Yeah, that's right. They spent 20 episodes just on Ooby Dooby.
And that money was well spent. Now, this is this scene, I quote this to myself endlessly.
There's no time
to talk about time. We don't have the time.
I love that.
Dude, Cromwell's great.
He's a consummate professional. I love him in everything he does. He's great in LA Confidential as well. I love him in that. Frank's fucking face.
Yeah, he's fucking loving it.
Riker's so charmed.
Cromwell.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I am as well. Like, he's stealing the scene.
Like just watch Riker's face.
Of course, he centers the camera on himself.
Yeah, the focus is all there, isn't it? Yeah.
Is this the best series you got in any of the movies?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
Her or Crusher.
Maybe in Generations as well, she had a good one, but yeah, this is
Yeah.
Stars, you just like it because it says not to talk about timelines.
Available in the iOS or Android App Store right now.
There's your Schiller rating.
Yeah. It's a primitive culture.
Oh, you're blended, all right. That's actually the line. He just slips it in there.
It's just so watchable, this movie. It's just...
I need to go to
The
the toilet,
pacing
and
is
I'm trying to
immaculate.
find a moment where I don't want to watch a piss scene, and there isn't one.
Oh, you're gonna struggle.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to go.
This is perfect timed.
It's a little slapstick for me.
Oh, it's great.
I mean, Star Trek gets slapstick sometimes. Like TOS is very slapstick
But I
at
think,
the
like,
moment.
not to talk too much about the review that we're going to do later, but like, it's a case of just like it's a perfectly watchable film that has Star Trek in it, and I think that has to count for something because you have to cater to a general audience, and they've done it so well.
It's very accessible, yeah.
But and it's not over.
Oh, that's such good lighting there.
The Dutch angle's not great.
We've been getting a lot of Dutch in this movie on the ship.
Oh, Overtime, you cut out a bit there.
You guys are real hard to touch.
Overtide has engaged the Borg.
Goldsmith earning his paycheck.
I like they go between decks. Didn't have to.
We can't use a turboless. Yeah.
No, but you know.
I like the idea that the Borg can't climb, they can't jump, so that's safe to leave.
Also, they're very good at mood lighting. Like uplighting on their own, like conduits.
But they just really love playing The Sims. They love playing The Sims.
Cable management could use some work.
It's true.
Yes. Not enough.
Get some
cable
clips
ties.
in there.
Yeah.
I love the
I like
beat
this
noise.
line. I like this line. Yeah.
I love like trying to think of what the security team thought witnessing that.
Okay, but they also pause so they can have this little back and forth, and then they move on. It's a little bit contrived.
A little bit.
And it's not only you. There's a bunch of wounded behind you. You liar. Oh yeah, that won't scare her at all. War finding her.
None of this would have happened if she didn't light the candle. Didn't light the candle. She didn't listen.
Oh my god.
That's good.
That is a ominous
And the
shot.
look, the little, they are so alien,
Oh.
and they are. This is the best the Borg have ever been.
Oh yeah.
Yes, for another half an hour.
I like the Queen. I'm not even.
You're never going to hear me say anything bad about Alice Krige in this movie. I think she was completely wasted in Picard season 3, but
yeah,
The
it
Queen
wasn't even
works
Alice
in the
Krige.
movie.
It was just her voice.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
The Queen, she works in the movie, but
yeah,
outside the movie, it's.
And it was Alice Krige in Endgame as well, wasn't it?
If they would have never brought the Queen back again, I would have fewer problems with the fact that this movie introduces her.
I would actually.
Yeah, that way you could rationalize it as a thing of we're separated from the collective, we need something to maintain cohesion. That would be completely fine. But yeah.
But then you put Susanna Thompson out of work, and who wants to do that?
Just make her play a little more lesbian Trill. That'd be great. Who loses in that situation?
One of the great lesbotic actors of our time.
Guess what? If we do a second round draft, I'm picking Rejoined.
Major.
Yeah. Is this after her death? No, this is before her death, isn't it? When did she?
No, way before. It was like 2009, wasn't it? She died.
Okay.
She was still like well alive and kicking.
I like how the Borg just have like built-in feetsies. They don't have shoes or anything. Little booties. You know.
What's those running shoes where you have the individual toes pulled out?
I don't know.
Oh, I've got some friends that got some, but I forget the name of them.
Now, some of these shots look kind of cloudy and unclear.
A little bit.
Like, yeah, when those effects happen, why is that so?
I think
it's
that
like
might be the
washed out.
resolution.
It could be
because we're
the
watching it at
dodgy copy that
720.
you guys are watching.
Yeah, because it didn't look like that when I watched this on my my HD. I think it might be the resolution is not doing well with the smoke.
That's good. I like the very designs of the Borg as well.
Yeah, there's no one that. That's the great thing about it is like they're all like the same, but they're all individual and they're all modified differently.
And we see Starfleet officers losing, like getting assimilated and shit. That's great.
Well, I was going to say it's not exactly rare to see security personnel getting their asses kicked,
but yeah,
that last some
Strike!
bullshit.
What were you doing? Regenerating?
Uh-oh.
Got him. Oh, bit Klingon music there. Never noticed that before.
Yeah, why did they hit the Klingon music while he's climbing a ladder?
Because it's heroic climb. You don't understand. It's heroic climb.
Quick, down here we've got this. We've got this elevator shaft that goes to infinity.
Oh, sorry,
Ensign Lynch.
Yeah, whenever there's a phaser effect, it gets kind of washed out with white.
That's probably this version.
I also say I love the captain's vest. Oh, sorry?
I think Cisco wears it better.
Mm.
All right, here's my moment.
The Eastern Coalition. Like the fact that the Borg is like behind that little hatch, and he has to deal with this.
Well, that's why, because they have the one drill hand, he can't just open the hatch.
It's true. Yeah, no, they have to wait for the one drone with the drill hand to get there. It's like, what do you have, like 8965 of 3? He's like, oh well, I have a Phillips head. It's like, well, that's no use.
I got the coffee machine hand. Sorry.
Well, guess what? That's always of use. Never let anyone tell you that that's not of use. Yeah, the Borg are up on their mood lighting, aren't they?
With the big movie budget, they got the Spencer's Gift lightning thing.
Yeah, the Tesla coil behind his head.
This just reminds me of, like, there's an episode of Doctor Who from the 80s where they need like a prop to generate a time corridor, and the prop's called the time controller, and it's essentially just like a plasma lamp, the little and I'm like, guys, I know it looked really cool, but
Well, that's what they use in Voyager on the Dauntless, the fake Federation ship. It's got a plasma ball for like the warp core substitute.
Of course it does.
See, even from the beginning, this sort of seductive voice, I just...
Doesn't do anything for you?
Ooh. Commander. It's weird. He sounds the same as my wife when I described her this film.
Hot damn, you're heroic. That's a great line.
Always reminded that quote was like, why would you take someone like LeVar Burton with his beautiful eyes and just hide them behind a fucking visor? Like,
I was just thinking that. It's like, I'm glad he finally won the fight to get the implants.
I love a good peep show.
Boota!
Boota!
For God's sake, Boota.
It must be in pretty high orbit to be that small with a telescope.
Hmm. Well, to be fair, they would want to be in high orbit, wouldn't they? So you don't want to get picked up by any tracking equipment in the atmosphere. It's like, all right, how much do we tell them?
Thank God they didn't beam down Worf.
Well, I think they thought about that.
Yeah.
I think
he could have worn
maybe,
a headband
just
like he
maybe.
did in the Trouble with Tribbles. It's been fine. Spock did it all the time.
And Tuvok.
Yeah. Do-rag with Tuvok.
I always thought that was inspired.
Yeah.
His cap is terrible, though.
It's a choice.
I love that. I love that actually over their line. That's really, really funny to me. I also love that little reaction from Troy. Like, it's like that. It feels like she's like enjoying the romanticism that Riker is injecting into the moment.
She sobered up quick as well. No hangover. Must be a Beta Z thing.
Yeah, wow.
To be fair, I bet you that they had like a med kit and they were just like, all right, give me the
yeah.
anti-alcohol juice. There you go, done. It gets a pass. It gets a pass.
I don't know. Well,
it does.
I think Q in All Good Things, when he said "Trek Through the Stars," that was
a better
pitch
one,
perfect, because he is the fourth wall breaker. He's the omnipotent being. So
Yeah, okay, I'll agree with that, but I still think this one, by virtue of what he represents metaphysically, as a commentary on the creator of Trek, he's allowed to do it.
I'm still not going to not rate this a 10, so...
Oh, yeah. I actually looked a lot like Walter Goggins for a moment.
Yeah, I like that. They're regenerating. Do like you see the carnage as well.
Yeah, if I recall correctly, that was one of the production stories. Was that like, I think they found they were had a bit of extra budget left behind. Oh fuck!
Oh yeah, that's good.
That was rough.
Yeah.
Ugh.
HR guy, your heart out. Yeah.
That would also, a little bit of eye gore. They had like extra budget and like a little bit of a running time they wanted to make up, so they were just like, "Fuck it, we're just going to do a bit of B-roll," and this is what resulted. And I think it's a really iconic sequence.
This
considering
is very iconic. This one here.
Yeah. This is a trailer shot, really. And I'm surprised it wasn't in the one we watched.
It wasn't one of the initial ones. I remember seeing it the first time, but.
I do love the commitment to continuity because Daniels is in this and he's in Insurrection as well.
Was he in? I don't remember from Insurrection.
Yeah, because he's the tactical officer when they're fighting the sonar in the Briar Patch.
Yeah. Guess we'll have to rewatch that.
Guess what? Insurrection's a great movie.
It is a good movie.
Not as good
Some
as
would argue a better movie than this.
I think some people might argue that, but they might not argue it in good faith. I'm kidding. I was always baffled by this room.
This is
I'm not quite sure what it's for. A viewing room?
You want to view a planet?
From here? Crawling through Jeffrey's tube?
Nope, 9.9.
That's fine. I'll climb back up to 10 in a moment.
Maybe it's like a...
It's a suicide booth room. Pop a quarter in.
It's probably for cargo.
I'm trying to think what this room
That's
would be
probably
for, but actually I have nothing. I literally have nothing.
It could just be like an access port for maintenance.
Yeah.
Like if you're doing repairs out on the hull, you can come here as a emergency.
I like that booster. There's probably just a repair or storage place. They just added a window.
so they can see outside while they work. Isn't that lovely?
Imagine if it activated right there.
I was thinking that. It's really close to the button.
If you played a different, like, creepier music over this, it's an entirely different scene.
Mm-hmm.
But in
Now
John
push her out.
I thought they could have brought it in a little earlier, like when they first do the planet reveal, time the music with that.
Oh, are we coming up on the scene that got you accused of being a communist idol?
Yes. Oh my god, I've never had so much hate in a shorts chat. It's ridiculous. I like the scene. Oh, look at it.
Did this get a nomination for effects? Because it should have done.
I'll have to check, actually.
I don't think... I think they won like a couple Saturn awards, but nothing major.
Which is a crime, because this is ILM. Like, this is really good. For 96.
Yeah, and this is incredible work.
And then flawless, tubes go up, she walks away. Like, that's so good.
Yeah.
If you ever watch Corridor Crew, they do a VFX series where they're like, load of VFX artists go and watch VFX stuff for the good and bad stuff. They just rate this so highly.
Hmm.
I think Data makes this acceptable. It's so good.
I want to speak to your manager, man.
Isn't that what it always boils down to, wanting to speak to the manager?
See, I am a sucker for Asimovian kind of like robot humanity into play, and this is just like the apex of it a little bit. It's two very unique conversations happening here.
And the makeup job is also just incredible.
So good.
Like that grey mottling is such a... And God knows how much KY jelly, I imagine.
I was going to say, she's so sweaty. Very Alien. Again, another Alien comparison.
Yeah.
Like, very sort of sweaty, liquid.
And she's a queen.
Well, I mean, it makes sense, because it's like H.R. Geiger is all about, like, the terror and sexuality, and that's explicitly what the Borg are going for in this scene, especially with the Queen.
We just need Troy to break through the bulkhead in a fucking mech suit game. Get your hands off him, you bitch.
See, that's how you know it would never happen, because like TNG would never let a female character have that much agency.
Here's a question. Where did they get the skin from?
That's from an Enterprise crewman.
I was going to say, they've had plenty of sources, but that's so
yeah. You can see the damage where it's been cut.
This is...
Which is gross.
Honestly, like, this is before the age where CG took over everything, and they did a lot of stuff, like, very well with what they had. Same way with, like, Pirates of the Caribbean, not Dead Men Tell Lone Tales. What's the one with Davy Jones?
Stranger Tides?
No, it was before that. The second and third film.
Dead Man's Chest. Dead Man's Chest.
Dead Man's Chest. And it's like kind of this early era where they just nailed it, and then after that they just got cheap with it.
Well, I think it's more just a case of having a lot of time and a lot of good pre-visualization and concept art to work off of as well.
I'm going to make a statement. I don't think there's a bad VFX shot. Oh, no, because we've already seen one. The data dropping from the
That's like the only one, I think.
Yeah, but there's no bad VFX shots in this film. Oh, yeah, this clip.
Yeah, this is where it starts. Uh, 30 times more than a normal episode.
Yeah, and as soon as I post this on fucking YouTube as a short, I had like 50 fucking comments going, fucking socialist, communist future. I'm like, fuck off, it's a film, get a life.
How dare you create a utopia? How dare it be socialist?
I'm too poor to be that mad at communism.
yeah. That's the mood. Oh, that's such a good line reading. Okay, I have a question for you guys. So later on, Data mentions that he was tempted by the Queen for 0.68 seconds, right?
Right.
When do you think that 0.68 seconds actually takes place?
I yield the floor.
How crude do I want to be?
I mean, that might be the answer, actually, over time.
I think
that's probably it, right?
Yeah.
It was the Data got blown and had an enjoyable moment.
Yeah.
And,
no, you're not wrong. I think that is it.
But then he entered his refractory period and had some
which for Data could last a lifetime.
Yeah. And once he got that clarity, he said,
Comes to resolve that personal clarity.
Hey, Neelix.
And there's Brandon Barger, if I recall correctly.
Oh, what, is a barman?
No,
Ethan
to the right.
Phillips,
the guest to the right.
Ethan Phillips asked that he not be credited so that it wouldn't confuse anyone who recognized him as Neelix's actor.
Nice.
Weird.
She is rocking that dress, I have to say.
Yeah.
And you want to talk about like that? It's so cool.
So slick. Very slick. ILM
we were talking about
amazing.
Oh yeah. unmatched. Like we were talking about, like these are the Voyagers doing things with holodecks. This was like a kind of another advancement of that.
Yeah, no, these are the Voyagers.
Getting to see it like.
To this. I like this scene, but it is. Yeah.
Oh, it's pure indulgence.
Yeah.
Like, but it's so much fun.
No, is that
they hired an actual like however many piece band? It's such an indulgence.
Is that the same actress from The Big Goodbye? Is that her?
Wouldn't be surprised. I'm not sure.
I'm gonna go check. I'm gonna check. I dumped the broad.
I love Lily's look there. She's so unimpressed.
She's handling it well, to be fair.
Oh yeah. To be fair, she's a post-nuclear survivor. Like, she's seen some shit.
Yeah, but this?
She's having a rough day.
Listen, the human mind is very resilient.
Oh, I'll tell you what I need to look up.
The one time that the safety protocol's turning off is a good thing for them.
There's the grape filling I was looking for.
Oh, yeah.
Caroline Allport.
Doesn't even register it.
How does she know that's the uniform? Has she actually seen anyone? Because she fainted early, and then Picard wasn't wearing his.
Yeah, she saw the medical crew.
Yeah.
With Crusher
No, she
and
was.
stuff, yeah.
She fainted. Oh, you mean back in sick bay? Okay.
Yeah, they got her up and she was being let out. Yeah.
But she mostly would have seen them from the butt.
No, it's not the same actress.
Now, the inclusion of Reg Barkley in this movie, I do add a point to my score.
It's so good.
And Geordie shades.
The Geordie wearing sunglasses, I deduct a point.
Joe can
Yeah,
see
good
his
point.
eyes.
Why would he need to wear sunglasses? Surely he can just reduce the filter on his eyes.
Because he wants to look fucking cool.
That's true.
Well, it's to
And he
cover
does,
up that his
sure.
eyes look weird. They're mechanical, differently
Maybe,
looking.
good point, yeah. Although he's
So
giving
that's
it away
super
right
nice,
here.
but-
He's just like, I'm from the future.
He looks like he's in a music video from 1999 MTV Spring Break.
Usher is about to walk his way onto stage any minute.
See? Fancy looking.
The little grin he's just got on his face. Oh. And he's just got his hand over like a weirdo as well. It's not like a normal handshake.
The stumble.
He's like running away. So is this being filmed in Montana? Where is this?
Canada somewhere.
No, I think they did some filming in either Montana or one of the Dakotas, so it was northern U.S. for a lot of this.
Yeah, Geordie, you're not helping.
He's an engineer. It's like
he goes on the story about like you can't blame them, they're fans, and then just like goes like, well, I'm the biggest one.
Reminds me of Shaw geeking out about Geordie in Picard season 3.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mm.
Looking up at the sky.
Reaching toward the future.
Here it is. It's a very 80s film kind of like misunderstanding over terminology.
No, I like it. I like that they actually.
Well, it leads into the fact that, like, the 24th century people are kind of weird.
Try reading like a book from the 1700s, and it's.
And he should have
What
responded,
the fuck kind of trigger discipline is that on Hawk? Get him off the bridge.
Don't worry, they're working on it.
He doesn't even hold it like a rifle. He's holding it with both hands. Like it's a. That was awful.
He's a
to be fair, they don't have any recoil. They don't have any recoil.
Yeah, but you can still aim better with that way.
Well, you're not wrong.
She doesn't have a universal translator. I assume Worf is speaking English.
The computer's handling all the combat engines.
He's actually speaking Russian.
Yes,
Minskian.
Yeah, with a slight Jewish accent.
Okay, if they can time travel, why don't they just go before you intercepted their sphere? It's so plot holy.
It's called Captain Braxton picked it.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. I love this bit. Here we go.
It's not TNG if you don't make more stuff for a little bit.
Here it is. A little stroll. It's a nice day.
Yeah, no, lovely.
I don't know if I feel bad because we're in the UK and it's February and like I've not seen a nice day in like months.
Wasn't a news headline that like we haven't had a clear day since like the beginning of the year?
Yeah, I saw the sun today. It was amazing.
I looked outside my window and it's very UK weather right now.
So they were having trouble with the smoke effects on this. In 0G, the smoke wouldn't be coming back down. It would only go in one direction. So Frakes had to kind of shoot around it, do some tight shots or cut scenes before he wanted to make sure the smoke doesn't come falling back down.
Nice. Friends.
I also love like Hawk like smiling in the background. That's cute.
I love this. This is so good. Oh, pan over the model.
Yeah, that.
It's
Oh, look
so
at that.
good. Oh. It's like that. Just looks like that. Just screams of like physical model. They pan the camera around it, and it just looks so much better. They do it on like. I'm not shaming modern Trek or anything like that, but when you do it with CG, it just doesn't have the same impact. But looking at this,
Well, it doesn't have the same
you get a
physicality.
sense of
Yeah.
perspective as well. Oh, so good.
So, fun fact about the EV suits: they're meant to be color coded with the departments, but because all of them wear red, they didn't have ones in yellow and blue.
Oh.
So that's why they're always red, no matter who the department is in the future when they
fair
reuse these suits in Voyager.
That guy's hand makeup doesn't match his skin on his face.
Well, yeah, because he's in progress, which is kind of messed up, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, his eye is also not like fully grey.
That's fair, I suppose.
Reasonable discussion in this Star Trek conversation. Get out of it.
I'd say something toxic real quick.
Oh, you guys really need to read Asimov because, like, ever since I read like Robots and Dawn and Robots and Empire, it's like, holy shit, this is Data's entire arc. Asimov, it's all over him.
Wait, are you telling me that if you want to make good art or tell good stories, you should read other stories and good art?
It's wild, isn't it? It's almost like Greek myth.
But what if I got ChatGPT to generate things for me?
And then you're a fucking asshole.
Sounds faster.
It's faster and more inaccurate and more enabling to your own bias. Kapow! I like how 2 Borg just fell over with the one punch there.
I love this effect shot coming up. That! Oh,
yeah,
that
never noticed
massive...
that
Oh.
I like how one of the Borgs is still in the Starfleet uniform. Yeah, the guy behind him, like, it's halfway done.
Yeah. I think that's the guy who got grabbed from the engineering deck, who was like looking at the humidity settings.
He's in kayfabe, bitch. Learn to read the script. I like this because it's such an analysis of both data and... I don't know. Ah, no, this is the 0.67 seconds or whatever it was. This here. I think that's where he made the decision.
Because he never specifies. He specifies that there was a moment.
Yeah. No. Okay.
And now here's Frank's poll.
I love the theory that, or not theory, the fact that he says, "Oh right, I've only been functional this amount of time." So when he was going out with what's the name where he grew the beard for, they were never intimate.
Oh, in theory, yeah. Well, that's why it's called in theory.
Such a Hollywood kiss.
Who has worse breath? The android that's never brushed his teeth, or the Borg that's never brushed her teeth?
The Borg, because like that flesh looks like it's like slowly decaying.
Do android have like the teeth would be like
Well,
porous. There would be no decay.
Well, they have like internal chemical processes, so maybe it smells like chemically.
He would have no, yeah, but there would be no decay happening on a yeah.
In theory, he could have like bacteria from the air in his mouth and stuff.
Damn, that
He does need to breathe.
Yes.
I love this little game of British Bulldog they play.
Or as we call it, Bulldog.
No, I always called it British Bulldog when I was playing it in the playground, even though I think
it was just Bulldog in my school, but yeah. Then there was the rest of the British Bulldog that. Eat it.
I think when they remember stun works.
Yeah, no, so often it's like, oh, stun doesn't work. And it's like, no, it's...
And like it's an especially light stun because it doesn't knock them out.
Yes, Jordan, this is all your fault. I like this as a general like engineering proficiency. You've installed this on the Enterprise. You're not just going to be able to release this from the bridge. No, this is going to have to be like a very specific installation process.
Well, I imagine you could do this from the bridge if you wanted to, but they don't have access to the main computer.
Oh, that's true. But yeah, regardless, it's nice that there are some physical, like, pull release.
Well, yeah, because like you'd have to do like replacements and stuff like that. It totally makes sense from a world point perspective that you would have stuff to do this.
How many Borg backpacks out of 10?
I do love the Borg backpacks.
Oh, Stars, do you remember Eevee Suit Wolf? Remember the saga?
I do remember VC. I do remember that. I remember when that mattered to me. Such a long time ago.
Still got the video.
Now I have real problems.
Yeah. But timeline's 8-1.
It's true. I love him like bracing the back to get it moving quicker.
Yeah,
I love that.
There's a lot of really good zero-G work in this.
Mm. So do you think he like burned up in the atmosphere?
Yeah, would have had to. That close to the planet.
Yeah. Or he got pulled in with like the other regeneration like debris.
Oh, we should watch that next.
Should we? It's not a particularly good episode from what I remember.
It's not, no one's drafted it, so maybe not.
Yeah.
Bad episodes are more fun to review.
Depends on what kind of bad. Like, I don't want to watch Violations on Man of the People, but I'll happily watch Spock's Brain. It's like, well, that's a problem.
Love that. Look at the float away. Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's great.
Good.
Good conservation of momentum there.
Yeah.
See what happens when you don't have money? You just throw your guns away.
I keep thinking, like, there's always, like, the early TNG season 1 with... season 2 with him and Guinan shooting phasers in the holodeck when they're doing the phaser training. I always think, like, yeah, Picard's a good shot. That's how he gets away with it.
See, he's got CG blood that's better than Undiscovered Country, so...
Yeah, but
I would hope so at this point.
Klingon. So there was another Klingon.
Yeah, I love...
Yeah.
Well, no, because it's like they were just someone that got assimilated that were on the sphere.
Oh no, Dum Dum Dugan. No.
Also played William Birkin in the last Resident Evil movie.
He was in the Arrowverse as well. I forget who he played. He was like the
He's
big
in
bad.
everything.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
I do love Neil. He was also in the Call of Duty Black Ops 3, believe it or not.
Oh, I played that recently. No, I played that about 10 years ago, I think.
He was in the zombies mode as one of the protagonists.
Okay. Damien Dark, thank you, Boota. There's a guy who knows his Arrowverse.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
See, you're in.
I love the
Boota. You do Dragon Ball. We'll do Arrowverse. Let's do it.
Oh God. Oh, this always kind of turned my stomach whenever I see it, and it still kind of does.
Do you ever see the the footage of the astronauts who do that when they sort of like go far away and they take a snap and then they zoom back? It's like, oh no.
Yeah.
I think it was season 4, Boota, which was the worst season of Arrow, so maybe not.
I do also really love the sound effect that they give the interplexing beacon when it starts to go off. It's really, really satisfying to me.
Do you remember, Stars, when we said that when we watched First Contact, it's just going to be you and me just like orgasming over this entire film? Like, I feel like that's just happening.
Well, when we do Wrath of Khan, it'll be me, you, and Shy orgasming all over it.
Maybe you and Shy. I have thoughts of the Wrath of Khan, but
You have thoughts?
Bitch, get out of it.
Like, that's just a really...
See, now that shot
satisfying...
looks lower quality. It looks fuzzy, lower quality, even though there was no phaser effect.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, I love that reveal shot.
I'm going to try to go back and see if I can find another source and...
Yeah. Have a check. It
check
might
those scenes, because I don't remember those weird drops in quality.
Yeah, it might just be because we're using a 720p one.
Just blame Idol like always.
That's a nice shot from inside the helmet.
Yeah.
Idol inserted lower quality scenes.
That's how he'll win the draft. That's how he hopes to win it.
There's just lots of elements of like it didn't have to be hooked on by a pole, but
well, no, it needs a direct connection.
But still,
Idol, can you like emit particles without a cable connection? I think not.
When it's in contact with the ship, I mean, that would be. You wouldn't need a big tube for that.
Boo.
Okay, so I read some critics' reviews that hated that line. What do you guys think of that line?
It's fine.
Too cheesy, or is it good?
It's cheesy, but in a good way.
It's very Worf.
Yeah.
This was the point where a guy behind me said, like, going, "Yeah, Worf, go Worf." I was like, I was appreciating this, but because it's British cinema, I can appreciate it quietly.
I mean, it would make more sense to like adapt to this, but that's a terrible line.
Yeah.
Agreed. It is a very 80s cheesy Stallone line, like, for sure. Sorry.
It was meant to do just that. It was meant to pop the crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, guess what? If they'd given it to Picard, I think it was heinous. I would think that'd be the worst thing to possibly ever do. But they give it to the right character who would say that, because Worf is a petty little bitch who will do 80s action movie lines because he thinks he's so much cooler than he is, even though he is really cool.
The important thing is we've just seen Overtired Cat, so I think we need to appreciate that. Can you imagine?
It's an entire
with the Department of Temporal Investigation. So what did you tell Zephram Cochran about the future?
Everything.
Everything. Yes.
Something in the region of everything. Yeah, probably actually. Yeah. Well, no, it's probably Kirk actually. Kirk probably. Yeah.
Does but.
I mean, basically, Geordi, Riker, and to a lesser extent, Reg invent warp drive. And
yeah.
Well, he's already invented it. They just sort of refine it and make it kosher. There we go. This is the line.
How do we know he didn't invent the thing?
It always comes down to the voyage home when you think about it.
I can sympathise with Zephram. I take trains. I hate flying. Love a train.
Riker just smiling like, yeah, relatable. Like, you fucking horn dog.
I do like the reluctant heroic figure trope. That's very good. This is a great line.
Well, I love Cochran's retort. Because he's right, it is. But it's also like, it underscores that he's intelligent enough to say that.
But also, like, Riker has grandfather paradox this on him. He's like, well, he now knows it, so now he's going to say it. So...
I love him being covered in blood. That's such a good little makeup tweak.
Is this the only film where Beverly's been, like, mostly blonde?
Is she not blonde in Insurrection?
I don't know. I'd have to... I think so. Not that I've noticed it.
I think she is.
Sometimes women change hair color, just so you're aware.
This is an innovative technique. Can you describe the process to me?
She also changes her hair color in Picard season 3 to gray.
She looked great, honestly. I love the way she looked there.
I can see that Worf has been learning from the school of Cisco.
Yeah, no, he would not have done this on TNG.
Good. Character growth.
Yeah.
Speaking of Cisco.
And literally in about a couple of years, he would kill Garon, so that is not an empty threat.
Yeah.
Oh, Boota. We had the same thought at the same time.
I really would have liked to have seen a cut where Bev goes into the ready room and does what
Even
Lily
if she
does.
can't,
Yeah.
even if she can't get it all the way, I would like it if she at least tries. I would want Beverly to have something a bit more in the movie. Definitely.
This should have been Beverly's scene, really, but yeah.
Yeah.
But you have to have the contemporary audience, because it is a film, mass market film, you have to have the contemporary audience, like, link there, don't you?
Well, it's also a case of, like, Beverly loves Picard, and Picard loves her, and I don't think that she quite has it in her to break him down in the way that Lily does. Because she's known him for, like, what, all of, like, 6 hours.
Lily would be a really strange addition to the plot if she doesn't have a scene like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, actually.
And right now, as we say this, both Zephram Cochran and Lily are alive on this planet right now. Younger, they could be watching this review. If you are out there and you are watching, doing a great job.
They're learning TikTok dances as we speak.
Oh, God. That's the worst. They're probably sitting somewhere school, someone going 6, 7, you know.
This review was a mistake.
Turns out 6, 7 was actually the formula to inventing warp drive. Who knew?
Yeah, that's the antimatter mix that you need.
Hello, UK Danger Man Reviews. Good to see you in chat. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, this is... Yeah, okay, no, this is very Lily. Lily had to do this. Beverly couldn't have.
I disagree.
Ooh.
I mean, it would have to be different, but...
It'd be a very different scene with Beverly if you were going to do it.
But I think it's the fact of, like, that mention of, like, seeing someone die or having killed someone, like...
Yeah, it's a very different context from her as a survivor of the Third World War.
Yeah, exactly. Oh no, my gold-plated eagle moss.
Which it's good to know that the D was finished by the 24th century and available.
Yes.
That's great news.
Thankfully, they handed the subscription off to another company. But they don't.
That look on her face. Ah.
We should have put this after Idol. Our 3-part of this should have gone after.
You're right, actually. Yeah.
Because I think they added a lot of weight to this storyline.
Kuhu, Best of Both Worlds, family, and then this. Yeah.
Well, just let's stop right now. Just stop. We'll come back.
I don't know. I feel like it could have been Crusher, but I feel like Lily is the better choice.
Well, it's hard to say unless you've seen both.
Yeah.
I mean, think of the way she put him in his place during Perfect Mate, and that was over something relatively minor. I think she does a good job of
humbling him when he needs it.
Yeah.
I think I like the point of Lily here saying, I've never read it. Like, have any of us read Moby Dick? But we know the overarching themes of revenge. It never benefits anyone. So that adds to the sort of, like, audience analog to her character here.
She's a very well constructed character, yeah.
Because she's read Moby Dick.
Yeah. And like from their perspective, all they heard was screaming and glass shattering.
I would hope that he has better sound insulation.
Considering the Bees aid that was coming out earlier, and Riker only noticed when he walked straight in. Sorry, Berlioz.
Maybe.
Anyway.
Yeah, how would you like to be Picard's neighbor, like on deck 4? You live next to the captain. Loud ass music. Who are you going to complain to?
Just hear all this fucking tin whistle all the time as he's trying to recreate that freaking that memory.
So who do you think was really with Cochran the first time through?
One would have to be
Lily.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we're getting into grandfather paradox. Like, was it always Riker and Geordi, or how does time work in the Star Trek universe? Like,
well, yeah.
It works by close enough. If you get the timeline close enough, it's
Wait,
fine.
so
I mean,
when did they give Worf
that?
activation codes? Because he was on the Defiant a couple hours ago.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Why can Worf blow up the ship suddenly?
Well, I would have to imagine that when he came over from the Defiant, there was like a little thing that said transfer command codes to this ship, and then Commander Riker authorizes it, and then there you go.
No.
Okay,
he's
but it wasn't in the movie, so
he's been on the Enterprise D, so he's got the Enterprise Premium Pass, so that enables him to lifetime codes for self-destruct sequences until the Enterprise H or I.
It's the auto destruct sequence, so auto, watch out.
Some.
No, but like, where's the tactical and/or security officer?
They're busy fighting the fucking Borg.
Yeah. Yeah, he was in here like with his blood on his face, and he got told to go sling his hook and like fight the Borg.
Like, get the fuck down there and do your job.
They weren't going to tell him he was going to blow up with the ship.
You can't be that romantic. You've only had the ship for like 3 months.
Yeah, but actually, it's not about the ship; it's about what it represents.
Right. Losing to the Borg again.
Yeah.
Now we're getting into some like weird background stuff, but in the books, didn't Morgan Bateson do the shakedown crew?
Yes,
of
yeah.
Enterprise.
God, Ships of the Line was the book, wasn't it?
Also, Picard wasn't there for the D's destruction, so I think this kind of encompasses both ships.
True. Good point.
Saying goodbye to both of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's the point, actually. Yeah.
I love this bit.
Stuff the Academy's been doing some needle drops, and I've been not liking them. This is the best Star Trek needle drop,
absolutely,
as far as I'm concerned.
This is the one contemporary song I will permit in Star Trek.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
On a magic carpet ride. No.
Oh, that shot, man.
Yeah, it's good.
Can't pan down because the exhaust would kill all those people.
Yeah, they're all toast.
I mean, they were already dying from radiation sickness anyway. It was a mercy, really.
I like that little wobble to his voice there. That's good.
Right, like.
And I deducted a point because I got the soundtrack to this movie when it came out, and I loved it. But it had the album version of Magic Carpet Ride, not the live version that they played in the movie, and that annoyed me.
Was that the live
So
one
that
they
gets,
did here?
That's a live version, so that gets a point deducted.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
I adore that the Phoenix has the TOS style nacelles. That's such a cool design touch.
Yeah, makes sense too.
Don't become your own grandfather.
Wait, hang on. Oh no, that's fine. I had to think about the timeline there. I was like, it's pretty hard to stay at history's way when history's so fucking aggressive at this point.
You were like, don't disrupt time zero.
God no. You keep Data's head where it is.
It's down there right now.
Yeah. I like this. You never see escape pods going off. It's great.
Yeah. Well, you see him in DS9 a few times, I think. Once or twice, anyway. Well, when the Defiant gets blown up.
Oh, yeah, in that one, yeah. I don't...
Yeah. Oh, and in Emissary, you see the Saratogas.
Oh, yeah. I always thought it's more like just a shuttlecraft in that one.
Well, no, because it launches from somewhere. I don't think it has a shuttle bay in Emissary. But...
So a bigger problem I have, another point deducted. The entire ship, what's left of the ship's complement, has just abandoned and taken their escape pods down to Gravette Island. Okay. Now, at the conclusion of this movie, spoilers, they go back through the Templar Wake and go back home. There's a lot of abandoned spacecraft on the Earth.
Have you considered that they have transporters?
No, they just leave. They see first contact happen and they're like gone. They don't take the time to clean up their mess.
I mean,
they didn't
Easter
pack out
Island
the
all
trash.
over again. Like, that's how how did those like statues get there?
Yeah, my assumption was always that they literally just beamed the escape pods back into place because there's no reason why you wouldn't be able to.
No, Frank's right. It's not as tight as some of his picks, like Spock's brain or The Way to Eden.
Or Turnabout Intruder.
Fuck.
Idle catching strays.
Guess what? He wouldn't catch strays if he committed to the
Shut
bit
up.
of
Good
the
dialogue.
draft.
Dialogue now. Good dialogue now. Be quiet.
I like how they retcon that she also sexed up Picard when he was assimilated.
She is so horny in this film.
I mean,
No,
if you
it's
think
not.
about assimilation as like a metaphor for like, Data mentioned, they do not evolve, they conquer. They have a rapacious appetite. They cannot stop consuming.
Listen, there's someone that was prepubescent when I watched this film for the first time. It was an awakening. May says, my late mother, who's in heaven now, always thought the escape pods looked like grand pianos.
I also thought that. They do
did
look
you
like grand
really?
pianos.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Bless your mother.
I started to make a joke, but I didn't. And I want to say thank you for being a good viewer. And I didn't make a joke there.
Good
Yeah,
self-edit.
what we're saying is that like when the escape pods were launched, it should have been making my way downtown.
Yeah, Billy Joel is out there somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of retcon here, but
Yeah,
that's a retcon,
not a
yeah.
fan.
Well, it's also a case of like they have to just like Picard justify it and remember now.
they could have like not, but sure.
Idle's walking out, or Otto's walking out. He doesn't like it so
Oh
much.
shit, we're gone. He's gone.
He's gone.
He knew the joke I was about to make, and he was disgusted.
I think always. Like, in what way have the Borg ever been noble?
Yeah, this is the general audience. Like, we have to play to a different crowd, kind of thing here, isn't it?
I mean, I as ways to go about it and make it more accessible, I don't hate it. Like, I definitely agree about the precedent that it sets, but yeah.
Data, no. Kal-El, no.
How dare you? I think that might be the single worst thing you've ever said in one of these reviews.
Is it because it was first
Likening
contact? If it was any other episode, I would kill you where you
likening
stand.
Patrick Stewart to fucking... Oh, no. Come on, man. I think Patrick Stewart is most anesthetized and like out of it and not with it is still a million times the actor that she is.
Let's move on.
I didn't even realize, but his like the engineering also his makeup has progressed again, which is really cool.
I like that.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Cute.
I like it. I like that. That's good. You see the shadow first.
Mm.
Salute the anthem.
And now Picard's in his John McClane fit.
Stop.
Ho ho, motherfuckers! Now I have a phaser rifle.
Remember Threshold?
I do, unfortunately.
This is so Data's so melodramatic by doing this.
Oh, it's so good though.
Slow, sly, like walk to the core. Oh. Caboose.
We'll even forgive him for saying futile. Man, he is like in like how old was Patrick Stewart here?
94, I think.
I'm just saying, the man can get it. Oh man, the makeup on Data there is so good as well. Love a good LED. Listen, die mad, Borg Queen. Yeesh.
That's what Riker said.
Man, that is a lot of corpses I got to clean up.
The score with the bells is one of my favorite parts of the entire soundtrack too.
It's like a funeral dirge. It's so
Yes.
good.
Yes. Because this is also Picard's. We just spent an hour and a half watching Picard go through therapy, and this is the conclusion of his therapy, where he's going to break the chain of his abuser by snapping her neck.
Sometimes revenge feels really good.
Do you remember they advertised
That
sort of like
prop.
you could get a replica of the Borg Queen's skull and flashing like?
I vaguely recall that. Yes.
Yeah, and it was a stupid amount of money, wasn't it?
I mean, it's a very detailed looking prop.
I won't name names, but I know someone who bought that.
Oh, really?
You just put that next to like the Cyberdyne chip and like the Terminator 2 arm.
Yeah. I love they kept the lights from like earlier seasons of TNG, like the
the LEDs are so good. Like that is. I still look at that and I go, man, that is like an insane effect.
Mm-hmm. I love that. There's a
All
really
the
good
Zoomers are
sort of. There was a series of books called Strange New Worlds, which were basically short stories in the Star Trek universe before Strange New Worlds, obviously. And there was one basically of Data making a whole poem before the Enterprise nearly got destroyed, 0.68 seconds before like the catastrophe hit, and it was like a whole like 28 pages of his dialogue before it happened. It was amazing. Unfortunately, they met Americans.
Well, yeah, that's the plot of In a Mirror Darkly, isn't it?
Apologies to all the Americans in this group.
Wow.
Fair.
I do love how Third Encounters this is.
A little bit, yeah. Okay, that's a little bit questionable CGI.
Yeah.
It's fine. Yeah. 3 points to anyone who can tell me what the ship is called.
To Planet Hearth.
There you go. Well done. And who is the name of that Vulcan?
I mean, I know, but I'm going to yield the floor.
Yeah. Alright, just bet.
I don't remember his name, but I got first to max on him in Star Trek Timelines.
That's the only reason I know him as well. God bless you, Solkar. When In a Mirror Darkly happened and Cochran meets him, when he had the shotgun, were Riker and Geordi behind him when he blew them away?
Probably. But it was Mirror
was that
Riker
the
and
original
Geordi.
timeline?
No, I don't think they ever show up in that episode.
No.
Because they would have had to pay royalties.
Yeah, Riker never shows up on Enterprise episodes.
Not the good ones, anyway.
Oh, that theme.
Oh, it's good. Which is wild. It's such a romantic theme compared to the movie we've just watched.
Yeah, but this moment is romantic.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's about the beauty that can come out of this.
Yeah, no, agreed.
Like that's why it's got so much substance. It's not just an action movie.
I love the fucking shallowness of just he looks human, but he's got ears.
That music.
I mean, there's a reason Terry Matalas brought it back so much for Picard season 3.
And it's like, I guess what, everyone here massively in trouble for like in watching a historical event. That being said, there is no one in the Federation who wouldn't want to see it.
To be fair, they've all had a big part in it, so yeah.
How pissed off are the rest of the crew that they didn't get to stay down there? They had to go back up. Like Reg is hiding somewhere in the trees. They leave him.
Yeah, he had to make his own temporal way back.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I won't. This has been a fucking ordeal. What the fuck?
I don't like that kiss.
Well, yeah, I don't mind it. It's a kiss of companionship, not of romance. I think it's
a very
fine.
French thing to do.
Yeah, but that's also not Jean-Luc Picard.
And everybody knocks Kirk for being a womanizer. Kirk never kissed a woman in any of his 6 movies. Picard kisses a different woman every movie.
What about Martia?
Wait, who does he kiss in Nemesis?
Not a woman.
I think Iman would disagree, but okay.
Suspect. Got any proof? Oh god, everyone is donuts. Shit.
Quick while they're distracted. Woo!
Yeah.
Actually, if they just cut from this into the beginning of Mirror Darkly, that would have been better. Now that they're gone, there's no one policing them. We're just going to blast them away.
I'm sure there's a fan edit.
I like this. I so love this.
That's First Contact.
Yeah. And it kind of, do you know what? It parallels so well into Enterprise as well. As much as I hate to admit it, is very Archer and the Vulcans as well.
Yeah.
Oh.
And the shot of Sokar sitting down and having more of the tequila is hilarious to me.
Soval's ancestor. Just breathe out. Just let it go. There we go. Okay. How far do you want to take this? Do we want to listen to the whole theme?
I think we've heard it enough.
Okay. All right.
Guess what? We all have this on our music libraries of choice. We all have it on our Spotify's, our iTunes.
We did indeed. Right, let me do this and then this. Okay, right. It's time for me to press a button and let things happen. So let's go. Hello everyone and welcome to Star Trek Trek. We have just finished watching Star Trek's very own 8th film in the franchise, First Contact, the ultimate Borg action film, the film that took everything up a notch in terms of both TNG and Borg lore in everything, and took it up to the ILM levels of feature film levels and brought us back down to us here reviewing it. How did we feel watching this film? I'm gonna throw it out to the skeptics of the film first, because me and Stars are naturally here just as adoration, just like, oh my god, this is the film of our youth. This is what defined us. Yeah, slow seal clapping. I'm gonna be absolutely unobjective. I want to throw it over to Frank and Otto. Also, we are joined by 2 very special guests, a long time overtired and Brody below me here. Gentlemen, welcome to the review as honoured guests. How are we all feeling about this film?
Otto, would you like to go first, or would you like me to go?
No, I think I'll go last, because people can tune in every week and hear me. So,
it is a great film. I'm not saying it's not a good film. It's a wonderful next generation film. It introduced the new ship. It looked gorgeous. Everybody, with the exception of Gates, got great moments, which is what we're used to. So it's okay. And it was just nice, but there were problems that I've had with it for 20 years, 30 years. How old is this movie? I don't know. However old this movie is.
It's exactly 30 years this year, if I recall.
Yeah, nearly.
Wow.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Oh.
Shit. Oh.
Feel
Now
bad,
I do
man.
feel old. Yeah. And we'll get into it later, I'm sure. But the problem that I've had that people have talked about on the various internets over time is we just spent 7 seasons in a movie with Diplomat Picard, and now we get like action hero bloodthirsty Picard, which is just not his MO. But like I said, I give him leeway because really what this is this is a giant therapy session for him, coming to terms with everything that had happened in the past and trying to be healed and healing through taking care of his abuser, if you will. And so I appreciate that. It's just not what's kind of marketed in the past. But outside of that, considering what they had to work with, I was pleased with it. It's not my favorite TNG film. That is Insurrection. But I think it's still nice. And Frakes did a great job directing. But I don't hold it. It does not even get the bronze medal. Unfortunately, it does finish 4th.
I am going to throw this over to one of our 2 honoured guests. So, Brody, love to hear about your thoughts on this film. How are you feeling about this?
I think you might have been called away. I'm poking him now, so it might be best for overtired.
Brody's gone. Overside. On other honoured guest of this stream and loyal chat user of us, please, how do you feel about First Contact?
I like it. It is probably the best TNG film in my opinion. Wrath of Khan's definitely the best Trek film. Like the First Contact has issues like, how does the time travel work? Why is it like this? Why isn't it like that? That's great for nerds to argue about, which is really fun, which like is bonus points. But like, if you really want to, if like you're your casual audience to like try to think about, then you can walk away, with more questions than answers. But it's enough like wrong to like really be fun for me to argue about. So, but it's so rewatchable. Like Wrath of Khan's a better movie, but it's if I'm gonna sit down and put a movie on, like, is it gonna be Wrath of Khan or First Contact? Probably gonna be First Contact because it's more rewatchable.
And this is kind of the question: is like, in terms of like how to balance between being a Trek film and a mass market appeal general action film. Does this cross the line too far? Or does it sort of play it a little bit safer in general? So I'll hand it over to everyone here. So especially Auto, I feel you've got some sort of thoughts on this, of like how this sort of represents Trek in more sort of the general audience view.
Yeah, I think it actually does what it sets out to do excellently. And that's maybe not gonna be for the most hardcore fans, but when I look especially at, I gotta take shots at New Trek. Sure. There are certain elements of New Trek which just cross the line so far into like, this doesn't even look like Star Trek. This is so identifiably Star Trek. It's a different, you're looking at a different section of it. It's way more action than we're used to. But I think it actually, it's very audience servicey sometimes, too much, but I think in a good way. Like some of the assimilate this and the resistance is like they give them catchphrases, they give them dramatic pauses, and it's the kind of thing that you expect from an action movie. And I think it's a good gateway drug to Star Trek for people of that era. Yeah.
Sorry, go on, Stars. Go on. It's time for you to talk.
I was going to say,
yeah, have I? Go on.
well, I was going to say, no, yeah, it absolutely was a great gateway drug for people, like, because that was what it was for me. Like this and Wrath of Khan and TNG season 1, because it has just enough to catch your attention. Like I feel like, Idle, did you mention that you watched this with your kids and they were interested?
I did.
Into it, or was that...
my oldest boy Ben, he was 9 at the time, and I said, I'm just going to put this. I'm going to watch First Contact, and he actually hasn't watched any Star Trek with me, but he was sort of interested in spending time with me. So he wanted to. So he just sat and watched a film, and he actually came out of it and said, "Yeah, I really enjoyed that." So.
Yeah, because it's got all the stuff that someone can latch onto. It's got an identifiable arc that can be told within a 2-hour span. It's got action. It's got a bit of darkness, which kids always love. This is like a 12? I think is the rating.
PG-13, I think.
PG-13, right? Yeah. So
so when I say my son was 9. It's fine.
Well, guess what? I also watched this when I was way too young, but like every kid does that. I feel like it's like it's a coming of age type thing. There's always a movie you watch when you're way too young for it. And it does incredible things for your brain in terms of making you feel like an adult and like expanding your consciousness. And that's what this did for me. Like, what I took away from this movie was that, wow, explosions are cool, or like blood and gore makes things cool. I was like, wow, revenge is like something that can destroy you. Like that's an incredible theme to be able to impart as like part of a really accessible, like it's not like that, it's not as if action movies don't tell that kind of moral all the time. Like revenge is a very common action theme in terms of like grappling with how far is too far. But especially like Star Trek's take on it and grounding it in the literary and like in a very extremely theatrically Shakespearean performance, it elevates it in that way. So I absolutely do think it makes a lot of concessions to pleasing the audience and keeping the attention, but I don't feel like it loses any of the soul. Like you say, it's still recognizably Trek. Just it's very much the same kind of like differentiation between the motion picture and the Wrath of Khan, where it's like the Wrath of Khan and the motion picture are very different types of Trek. They're very different types, but they are still both completely acceptable paths to go down, as it were. And like I feel like it's a testament to the franchise that you can do that, and you can, as long as you do it well, you don't risk losing anything. I don't think.
Yeah, and this is very much sort of like the first mass market appeal sort of Trek film that sort of went out there, and like I said, it's sort of.
I wouldn't. I think maybe Voyage Home might be more mass market. The first one in terms of mass market appeal, because it was set. Point.
I'm thinking sort of like generationally as well, because there's a difference between sort of like 1984 where the Voyage Home was out and then 96, because I had no knowledge of the Voyage Home when I first watched First Contact. I think I was a vague Star Trek fan, but I'd never watched any sort of the TOS stuff. So, but I said during sort of like when we're talking about the sort of pre-show before doing the watch along, me being sort of 12 years old and sort of just identifying myself with Trek and looking through sort of the magazines, and they're having this TNG film coming up and they were going to deal with the Borg, and I'd just watched The Best of Both Worlds, and I'd seen like IQ as well, and sort of having this sort of like the Borg are this amazing menace, and having a whole film deal with that, plus the birth of the Federation, essentially sort of going back and having this time travel story that sort of encompasses like basically the core of what Star Trek is, without Gene Roddenberry being there, is such a sort of revolutionary take as well, because you kind of sort of encompassing, regardless of what you feel about Cochran, which we'll get onto in a moment, sort of being, James Cromwell's interpretation as a kind of a drunk, sort of like money-grabbing Cochran, but like just having this sort of like encompassing feeling that Star Trek is sort of like dealing with sort of like the early periods of and going to approach like how it happened. But what I want to talk about is how you guys thought about this early version of Cochran.
You got to throw it specifically. We have too many people
It's
that
so
are going to wait
terrible.
for someone else.
Frank.
Just start picking
I'm
names.
going to go Frank. No, fuck it. I'm going to go Frank.
I appreciate immensely that if we're going to have this, and using the word lightly, this godlike mythical person that we've heard of dating back to TOS, and we will hear of more obviously in future things. But this guy, and we're so used to this utopian world that exists in the future. It's so refreshing to see he's flawed. He's just like me. I'm a drunk. I can't do anything. Well, I'm not a drunk, but if I were a drunk, I know this guy. I'm a degenerate gambler, but I feel like I know him, and we kind of dress the same too. Like, it was so nice to see our hero's journey is actually he's kind of like, the world sucks because we just had World War III, and he wants to make it better, but he wants to make it better for himself. He doesn't expose those Federation ideals just yet. And it's so nice to see that, and him coming to terms with, okay, maybe I don't have to be a selfish asshole all the time. I think that was nice. That was a nice little underlying part of the story.
Go on, Stars.
And now you talk.
I was going to say, Stars is on. I can tell he wants to say something. Go on.
Yeah. I think Cochran is a very interesting character. In that, like, I think that in a way he's a reflection on the fact that Star Trek essentially views, most Star Trek anyway, I think, views humanity and an individual human as essentially good. But it's that circumstances and the life that you've led and the things that have happened to you that will make you cruel or selfish or greedy. And it's interesting seeing Cochran being exposed to the idea that no, life really can be utopia. Life can be better. It just takes like concerted work and belief, not only in others but in yourself. And you get to see a slow transformation in him, but it still doesn't feel complete by the end, and I really, really appreciate that. Like, the Cochran that you see in the bar is still fundamentally the same guy that you have at the beginning of the movie. He's still a guy who drinks, who connects with people on that level. But he's just like slowly starting to believe, and it's like, I appreciate the amount of restraint they have there, while still making him feel emblematic of what the franchise thinks humanity is like. I also just really appreciate all the subtle little world building bits about, like, the Eastern Coalition, Econ, and the World War III. And because ultimately it doesn't really matter, the socio-geopolitical like stuff. What matters is that something horrific has just happened and something beautiful is going to rise out of that, and that's a wonderful message. I also just have to say, like, James Cromwell is like a fucking incredible.
The ship is called the Phoenix, so there you go.
Yeah, exactly. It's all very on the nose. Yeah, but guess what? Like, sometimes, it's like, guess what? Sometimes some text is unnecessary. Sometimes it has to be exactly as on the nose as it is, because it's like and a message like this does not need to be cloaked in subtlety. Life will get better if you put the work into it and believe in other people. I also have to say, like, one thing I do kind of wish we had more of is more of Cochran and Lily, because they basically have 2 scenes together, and they're very short. I kind of wish you had a bit more of their dynamic together, because they obviously have a lot of history, clearly, but you don't get to see as much of it. But I always say of movies that if I'm left wanting more because what I had was so good, then it's not really a flaw. It's just a case of, like, my brain wants to fill in the blanks, and I appreciate that.
It's interesting to think about how, like, Lily would have sort of filled in that part of... So we were talking about, like, who would have been in the Phoenix if it hadn't been Riker and Geordi. And obviously, one had been Lily. And, like, how Lily would sort of, like, filled in that sort of role for Cochran that would have been sort of, like, almost an antagonist in the past. And, like, how they cast her in this film to be sort of, like, almost the Beverly Crusher for Picard. And we were talking about that in the watch-along. So, like, right, could you have just filled Lily for Beverly instead. But no, it had to be someone unknown who was out of her element that could call Picard out on her shit. Or on his shit, sorry.
Yeah, I do think that Otto was right that like Crusher could have done it, but it would have been a very different scene. And I don't know that. I think it would have been a very good character moment for Beverly. I don't think it would have been as powerful a moment. I kind of for the movie in general, because it coming from Crusher, from a 24th century person to another 24th century person, is like a utopian appealing to a utopian, but someone from war-torn 21st century Earth reaching out and inspiring a utopian to be better, there's a real there's juice there. That's something to really be picked apart, and again kind of reinforces the idea of what humanity ultimately is and what Star Trek believes it to be.
Okay, so this film was directed by... Oh, hang on, we've lost someone else as well.
They're dropping like flies.
I was going to say.
All right, let me talk a little bit about Cochran before we move on. I think Lily probably would have interacted with him like a drunk uncle, where you're kind of tired of his shit, but you can't turn your back on him.
Yeah.
So for whatever that's worth, Cochran. So I'm writing down nitpicks. I'm writing down best moments, etc. My first best moment pick was Cochran. I love him in this episode.
Do you know what? Right? Can I just slightly interrupt, because I had a feeling that you would be because you are very much a TOS. You've grown up on TOS. I remember you speaking before about how you loved the TOS version of Cochran. So it's very surprising me to hear that you actually love this version of him.
Well, I'm nothing if not a maverick. Actually, because the character is positioned perfectly. I hate contemporary music in my Star Trek, and I don't particularly like montages. But Steppenwolf was not a montage, and he's not a part of Starfleet. He's a fucking drunk from 2060. He can get away with that. The trope, I do like the trope of he's not as he is in his history books. No one ever is. And it's so true to life that you could hit that button over and over again, and I would love it. James Cromwell is a fantastic actor. There's a little bit of nitpick, like how can they afford this giant fucking missile? But okay, if he were, let's say he was employed at some government-funded giant military base, well then he wouldn't be this man, because they wouldn't give the job to someone who behaves like he does. So you can kind of skirt around that.
Like, it took them 6 months to afford just like the cockpit. You know, they've spent a lot of time just like scrapping and scraping, getting parts together. It really is like a scrappy project that they've just launched into space. He's so natural to me. Especially the kind of the B-roll stuff the B plot stuff on the planet, where he doesn't want to be eulogized before he's dead, even though he's a drunk. He's not drinking to forget or to kill the pain or to die. He's just a drunk. And it's a fun take on, because normally, when they put that kind of character into Star Trek, they're doing it for a reason. They're doing either drugs or whatever to kill the pain, and that's not him. And I find that's another refreshing avenue to him. He works really, because I always complain, I want my Starfleet people professional. Well, it's not Starfleet, so he gets to be however you want him to be. And the fun interactions with him, hot damn, that's heroic. Like, he's got some really good lines. Never meet your heroes. And,
he enables all the pop culture stuff that you want to appeal to a mass market with that degree of separation. And so I think he's really essential to making that part of the appeal work.
And it's not even like if you were to talk about someone sitting around marketing desks, they'd be like, right, we need someone young in this role. I was like, no, you get James Cromwell. And he's there and he loves his old 70s rock, and he's a bit of a sort of an out of sorts. It's not even that he's a drunk, like the alcohol has nothing to do with it. It's more like he is out of context with this sort of like refined Starfleet sensibilities of the future. The utopia that has been needs something to build from. It's just everyone's shocked that it's built from this.
It's important to establish. It's important to establish that because the movie is called First Contact, and although I think it really misses the mark on what makes First Contact and Star Trek fun, establishing him as such an opposition to the way Vulcans are is actually a great setup. Because even though you don't see a ton of them interacting at the end, when they do, it's like it just clicks instantly, makes sense.
And in retrospect,
I think he was.
Sorry, Frank. In retrospect as well, like that fits in with as crude as we find Archer in Enterprise, and we have our own complaints there. It kind of fits in with that as well. And Archer is sort of like the spiritual successor to Zephyr and Cochran in a way. But sorry, Frank, you go on.
No, I was going to say, I think he's perfectly done and written and acted to make young new Trek fans who go to the cinema to see this movie go, "Oh my God, that's my dad." He's just drinking for no reason. He's just sitting here rambling on about some sort of Star Trek. He's dancing to crappy 70s music. He goes outside to take a leak and he runs away from his problems. But when the time comes, he nuts up and he gets the job done. It's like, oh, he's Star Trek's dad. That's what he is.
Essentially, yeah.
And
no, please.
I think I really love about the movie, and Star Trek never really focused on, even the movie doesn't, but Star Trek is post-apocalyptic. This is post-World War III. Like, a billion people have died. Like, it's totally fair that, like, you could imagine a pre-World War III Zephyr and Cochran to be more optimistic, but, like, to have that crushed by World War III and then to, like, have some hope back, seeing what it is. And, like, I like the moment when he's like, it's so small, like, you're supposed to like that. And it's like, he doesn't change as a person, but it's like he's solved a riddle or like something's clicked that he like never quite figured out before. And that's where those seeds are of the utopia that follows. But it's hundreds of years off. So
yeah. So it's actually interesting because, like, kind of jumping off of your point about Star Trek being post-apocalyptic, and also your point, Otto, about how you appreciate like the drunkenness as being part of his character. I don't know if this is part of your Memory Alpha Paul's idol, but if I recall, I don't know if it's in either a novelization or a book that follows on from it. They basically established that part of the reason why, like, to try and marry the two versions of Cochrane together, they established that like he was artificially aged by like radiation poisoning due to like exposure to like the warp project, and also to fallout from the nuclear war, and also that in this time period they have like medication implants that basically like take care of stuff like bipolar, and he has one of those.
Okay.
But yeah, this is all from like it's from one of the books. I forget which one. But obviously with like the infrastructure being as it is, he hasn't been able to get a refill for that implant in years, so he has to self-medicate using alcohol. And I feel like those are like it kind of works in Overtired's like thing of like, yes, it's supposed to pocket Star Trek, but I wonder, Otto, how do you feel about that as a, because it's not in the text of the film. I don't think it's contradicted, but it's like that's how they kind of reconcile it and add background. What are your feelings on that?
I mean, it's already a straight recon because the one from TOS, it comes from Alpha Centauri, is what they say in script. So, you know, I'm a stickler for some things in canon, but this kind of thing I'm really not. And I think what has kind of converted me is watching Robert April from TAS, who was kind of a nothing. Like, he had an important place in the lore, but if you actually watch him on screen, he's fine. He's like a one-episode guy. But when they bring Strange New Worlds Robert April in, like, it doesn't matter what he was. They make him something fun and better. And, you know, you're not going to retcon like Geordie LaForge. There's too much there. But to take a one-episode character and give him more, I think it's nice. And I actually really like him in Enterprise because he's basically the guy that had 5 cups of coffee and a cold shower, and then they put him in front of a camera. And we're talking paradox, but actually I love that the pressure put on him in this movie. Like, he rises to the occasion in Enterprise. The way he is, the speeches he gives, and he's wearing a suit or whatever, and he almost recreates Reaching Toward the Future. You can kind of draw a line back to where, he kind of turned his life around here, and that's a nice little character through line.
Yeah, and since we've mentioned it a few times, I do love that bit in Regeneration where they mention that Cochran talked about bionic zombies during like a symposium, but he was drinking. I love that kind of marriage. Yeah. I love the marriage of the two versions of like, yeah, he's still a utopia, he's still like 2160s like Cochran, but guess what? Like he still liked to drink and he got a little bit loose around the lip, and it's like I kind of love that. That's like one of my favorite parts of Regeneration. But yeah, I think it's a really well constructed character, and it's like I can't think of anyone else I would have cast as Cromwell as Cochran here. Like Cromwell has such a likable, it's just such a charm and a charisma that seems to come so easily. I'm trying to think of anyone who can replicate that.
It's wild because he's been in Star Trek like multiple times before as well. Like, was it Man of the People? Was that his? No, there was a couple of. There was a TNG episode and there was another episode he was in, and I forget which one they were, but.
He was in the one with the super soldier, I forget what the episode's called, but
and also,
he's like the head of the society in that.
Babe, Pig and City and all that,
Yeah, 11 months earlier was Babe, and so...
Wow.
Was it only 11 months? It feels like it's more...
The release, I'm not sure how the filming would have overlapped, but...
Yeah, it's wild. Okay, so... This film was directed by none other than Jonathan Frakes, who needs no introduction. Actually, him coming to direct the film is a saga unto itself, because I believe after the commercial success of Generations, which, did some fairly after all the TOS movies having this big crossover, it did some very respectable numbers, and they were looking for someone big to direct the first TNG output of this. No one seemed to want to take us, so they went... All right, fuck it, Jonathan Frakes, and then history was made. So, for much as we can say that Riker only really had one big scene, and that was his scene with Troy actually slowly getting degeneratively drunk in this episode. So, yeah. This is also written by Rick Berman, Brandon Braga, and Ronald D. Moore. Obviously, we know Berman and Braga. Ronald D. Moore, you will know for... writing many episodes of TNG, a few episodes of DS9, helming a lot of Voyager, but also being very responsible for a lot of very good seasons of Battlestar Galactica and Outlander in the future. He has done some amazing work.
Well, as I recall, I think he worked mostly on DS9. Then when he worked on the Voyager episodes, he got so frustrated with them not allowing him serialization. Yeah,
other way around.
That he was like, "Fuck this! I'm gonna go and make BSG 2004."
Which Battlestar Galactica was basically inspired by Year of Hell, because he said we need to make this a series, and they went no, and he went, "All right, I'll go take this existing franchise, which does have a hellscape, and I'll make it that."
Frakes. Oh, go ahead.
Please, Frank.
Frakes obviously earned his stripes, and many other Trek alum have done it through the years. But I think, and this is very salient of a point. Literally this week, I think we've learned over the years that Trek is best entrusted in the hands of people who actually love it and appreciate it and understand it and want it to be for others what it was for them. Right now, we are very fortunate. Obviously, Frakes still very much involved. But there's a young lady named Tawny Newsome who just absolutely nailed some stuff out of the park. And she did it for those same reasons. Terry Metalis in Picard season 3, that entire thing. So I think this was the start of Frakes being at that table of the new entrusted guard of Trek is in their hands and it's safe.
It's interesting to talk about, say, right, okay, you're going to put the nerd in the chair, essentially. You're going to put the person that likes it, and they could be a little bit biased, but I feel like, yeah, you're right. Frakes sort of took that separation to go like, yeah, I'm in love with this franchise. I know what but also I know what I'm doing. I know about the sort of distinctions, sorry, the alcohol talking in, the distinctions between being sort of like immersed, being sort of immersed in this subculture, and also, but also having sort of like the perspective to say, right, how can this be marketable to the mass audience? Which I think First Contact does superbly well.
Yeah, and it's like I also have to just give him props of like, when Nimoy did Search for Spock, I think Search for Spock is very, very well. It's well directed. So is Voyage Home. But I think that in terms of like the movies that have been directed by a cast member, I think this one has the most directorial flair, and the most interesting shot composition, and the strongest cinematography. And he's obviously backed up by, like, at this point, TNG, Voyager, DS9, this was a franchise that had been going for, 10 years? They had this down to a fine art. What's his 1987, right? So...
Yeah. Actually, no, yeah.
So
9
years.
9 years. Wow.
Yeah.
I thought it'd been longer by this point. It's only 9 years?
No, yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so like 9 years of like this production. And I mean, obviously, if you want to trace it back to Wrath of Khan, you can. But like you got all your people, your principals, like Louis Zimmerman, etc., Don Black, etc., who are just they are masters at their craft. If you give them the task, they will do it perfectly. And just leveraging all of that to make a Star Trek horror movie, which, like, if you look at the rest of Frakes' filmography, he doesn't really have anything quite like that. Like, he has, like, Thunderbirds 2005 or whatever, and a few other things. It's like, but I think this might, obviously, Frank, you'll disagree because you love Insurrection, and I guess what I love Insurrection too. I think this is easily the most interesting film that Frakes ever directed.
It really is. I mean, in terms of just like the sheer composition and how it's a horror movie that doesn't lose track of what Star Trek is, but also is a PG-13 somehow. I tell you what it reminds me of. It reminds me of the distinction between Lord of the Rings and everything else Peter Jackson's done, but in the reverse, because this is very much like early Peter Jackson work, which was very horror focused. And, like, if you're going to approach that in a realm of, like, Star Trek, like, yeah. But the thing is, you have to portray the Borg like that. And you have to portray the Borg as sort of this unknowable cybernetic menace to the general audience. Like, which, to be fair, as TNG fans, you kind of had that assumed from Best of Both Worlds, from Q-Who, from, like, even Descent to a certain level. But, like, you had this sort of body horror that was sort of shown a little bit but not implied. This implied it in a very way, and they could have done sort of the cheap way and just went, here's some people sort of getting their limbs torn off, but there was a directorial flair in this that, and especially, and I focus very much on the drill going into the eye lens. And who was it that said, like, no grapes were harmed in the filming of this movie? Like, yeah.
No, I agree with your point, Stars, completely. And Insurrection was largely outside, and Freaks didn't have a whole lot to work with. Here, it's a lot of sets, and there's outside stuff too. But he nailed it with the directing. He nailed it with the cinematography. He and his DP, he nailed it, getting the best performance out of these people who were excited to do it. And you're also right, Idol. This, like, Star Trek fans are going to go buy 2 tickets and go see it twice. You want the general audience to go, oh, this looks cool, and sit down and go, oh, the stakes are real high. These are like Terminators, and they can't be stopped, and they're going to kill us all. Wow. And you have to have the stakes of somebody has to die. Hawk died, and a couple other people. So it's like, okay, there's real threats here.
Ensign Lynch. Okay, which brings me around to the point... Oh, sorry. Before I do that, anyone else?
Yes.
Go on.
Ronald D. Moore, for my money, is the best writer Star Trek ever had. You mentioned 3 names. Brandon Braga, 111 credits. Rick Berman, 50-some. And then Ronald D. Moore has like 64 credits. And, it's easy to pile on those other 2 guys for reasons other than writing especially. But when you have that many credits, you're going to have a lot of bangers. You're going to have a lot of duds. Unless your name is Ronald D. Moore. I just looked through. He's only got like 3 duds out of 64 credits. And also Berman, all but 2 of his are written with someone else. So I wonder, like, if they wrote this in a Google Doc and they all use different font color, I would love to see who put what story notes in. And who, like, put the little comment on the side that said, don't write this shit, and, like, overwrote it. Because that would be so fun to see who actually can... Because it's easy to say, oh, the guy I like did all the best parts, but you don't really know. As for directing, Frakes, yes, he's great. I wonder how involved he was with constructing the Enterprise E, because he did so many shots, multi-level shots in the missile silo, in engineering, going through corridors, literally dropping down through levels, and that's a lot of stuff you really couldn't do in the Enterprise D. Maybe engineering, you could do a little bit of that. So I wonder if he had any input when they're designing it. Be like, yeah, can you add some at a level here? We don't even need to see. We just need to see some dropping through it. Just because there was a lot of motion in his shots and in the people acting in his shots.
I think a lot of it comes down to the fact that it's such an interesting journey going from actor to director, because I have to imagine that gives you an incredible perspective of what you as an actor need and want from a director, and also what best enables your craft. Because when I'm thinking of, like you mentioned, like the way that the Enterprise E is designed, there's so much done for an actor to interact with. And I have to imagine that even if he wasn't like involved in like let's make the MSD like this, or like, let's make the LCARs like this, I imagine there probably were notes of like, I would like to do a shot like this. Can you put a bit in main engineering set that looks like this?
Like literally, like, has there been any other introduction of a new starship that has been utilized as well as they have been in First Contact? They don't just do the like, right, here's the ship, spin it around, great, it's there. They put it in action. You get to fucking do an EV walk across the hull of it. You see the bridge. Sorry, this really goes. That was going to be my aside, but my next point of conversation was going to be the Borg Queen, because this is one of the most divisive parts of this film, and most of the divisive parts about the Borg in general is how you viewed the Borg Queen in this sort of situation, especially the little bit of retconning to the best of both worlds about how she knew Locutus. I yield the floor.
Overtired. Let's start with you.
Well, like, I think the Borg Queen works for the movie. I think when it gets out of the movie, that's where it's really a problem. I think like the flashbacks to Best of Both Worlds are like really confusing and hard to explain away, because it's just like,
you think in such three-dimensional
was she physically
terms.
there? Right, yeah.
So
just wavy bullshit.
Well, so I have thoughts on that. So like when we were watching, we were talking about like the Queen works in this context solely if it's a case of we're in the 21st century, we don't have access to like the Borg transport conduit or to like the wider collective. We need a centralizing process so that we don't all lose cohesion. I think that makes perfect sense, right? And if Voyager hadn't done what it did, then that would be completely fine as it was, but we're taking it as it is. In terms of the three-dimensional like terms thing, I've seen some people interpret it as time travel, and I think that's people like, I think that's a bit of a reach of making it way more complicated than it has to be. I think there's way more significance in the fact of like, she says, I can still hear our song or whatever it was. I don't think that the Borg Queen had to physically be there, and the shots of her with Locutus were not meant to be like
rubbing his lips.
Yeah. That was for the dads in the audience, wasn't it? I always took that to be metaphorical, as a case of I was not physically there, but because I am the Borg and you were Borg and you were surrounded by Borg in a Borg ship, I was there with you as I am with every Borg. And I feel like that's kind of supported by stuff like Unimatrix Zero, where like there's that aspect of the group mind. So the Best of Both Worlds stuff never bothered me as much when I ran it on that logic. That being said, it is just thrown at you, and Patrick Stewart just has to kind of give it legitimacy really quickly so that these two characters who have not met for an hour and a half can have a spirited discussion and a confrontation. Yeah. And that's a bit of a problem. And yeah, I think it is the instant the Queen loses, it breaches containment and becomes just a figurehead of the Borg in general, that's a problem. When you have it as an isolated emergency case here, I think that makes perfect sense. But it's one of those things where I don't think that this movie's fault, but you can trace it back to this movie, if that makes sense.
I think
kind of like how.
I think
Overtired. Did you have any more thoughts on the Queen?
I don't know. It's like what Star's saying makes sense, and is like I kind of agree with all of that.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, the Borg Queen, like, you know, like, because it's just when you pull on that thread, it's like, it's what we like to do as Star Trek fans. How do we justify this? How, like, that's fun, but it's like, man, this is a lot of work. But it's only a problem to people like us that care enough to pull that thread. So, like, yeah.
All right, let's go back to a little bit of history of this film. So
This better be good because people got a lot to say on the Borg Queen. I just throwing that out there.
Oh, it is a thread. So, talking about the sort of origins of this film, Rick Berman, Brandon Barger said they started talking about the places and times that this had been done on screen or had not been done on screen. Certain things they had crossed off about sort of like the origins of this film. Could they go back to the Roman Empire? That'd be cool in a lot of ways. No, but Picard in a toga, you wouldn't want to do that. Put him in a spacesuit, they said. And they started to think about the Borg in question. They started to sort of realise that these were horrific monsters. They were the Borg, and I quote, "We track them down to a castle near the village where nobleman runs a feudal society. We suspect the Borg are working in there, but no one can get in. So Data becomes our spy." Have we heard that thread before? Isn't there not thine own self? Is that not a very good Data story? Impersonating an artist apprentice, Data becomes friends with Leonardo da Vinci, who at the time was working for the nobleman as a military engineer. Kind of sounds a bit Voyager / Assassin's Creed. You would have sword fights and phaser fights mixed together in 15th century Europe. A little bit Cupid. It risks become really campy and over the top. So they scrapped that. A revised storyline was constructed, this time called Star Trek Resurrection, which is actually the first time I heard about this film, utilising elements laid upon place by Gene Roddenberry's original concepts for the Star Trek universe and the Star Trek original series second season's Metamorphosis, where we first see Zefram Cochrane. Resurrection closely resembled the final film. In the story, the Borg attack Zefram Cochrane's Montana laboratory, which we saw, severely injuring the scientists. With Dr. Crusher's fighting to save Cochrane's life, Captain Picard assumes his place in history, Bell's Riot style, rallying a town around reconstructing the damaged warship. As the action unfolded, Picard would have become romantically involved with a local photographer, an X-ray technician, which is wild to me because my wife is an X-ray technician, named Ruby, who helps the captain reconstruct a key element of the ship. Aboard the Enterprise, Commander Riker would be engaged in combat, invading the Borg drones. The Borg in Resurrection would remain faceless automatons. How would that have felt with sort of like the roles reversed, with Riker being the one on the Enterprise, sort of like fighting the Borg, and Picard essentially kind of almost being the archer in this sort of role?
That's Insurrection.
Yeah, a little bit.
Not wrong. Almost.
That's Nemesis.
Yeah, Nemesis is a little bit like that as well. Yeah.
Generations. All the other movies, Picard fucks off the ship, and Riker's left in charge.
See, the problem I think is like, and what they identified is that you can put Picard in that role, and that makes sense. Because like, if you want to do a story about people in history and the making of man and stuff like that, sure, Picard can do that. But Riker versus the Borg, there's no real skin in that game. Because Riker, yes, he won in Best of Both Worlds, but guess what? He won. He did not lose anything. In fact, if anything, he came out a winner in Best of Both Worlds. And that's the thing, like, his personal arc doesn't really get fulfilled until like freaking Nemesis, arguably. But all he comes out of that as a winner with having like, I saved her, I saved Picard. I had to make some questions about myself in command, but there's not enough there to justify a rematch. But with Picard, there absolutely is. And it's one of those things where it's like the instant they cottoned on to the fact that you should just swap them, it's like, yeah, that's a way stronger story. Because you need someone like, because what would Riker have done? He would have just done generic action stuff on board the Enterprise. I do not think that you could unless they maybe put like Troy at risk and maybe made that of it. But I don't know.
Again,
I feel like,
yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, exactly. Do we really want to see that again? So I think they made absolutely the right choice. I think that Riker versus the Borg is, you do that once and he didn't lose anything, so you have to make it Picard. Otherwise, it makes no sense.
Yeah, and the Borg are more analogous to Picard's Khan. And
yeah,
Star Trek keeps trying to remake Wrath of Khan, and you already did it for Picard with this movie.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, they did try and do it again with like Nemesis. I remember the tagline Nemesis was like, "It's the next Wrath of Khan," and then they did. Then it was like, no, it's not. And then they went to Star Trek Into Darkness and went, "It's not Khan, but it's Khan." It's like, no. It did start the sort of like film trend with like, right, there has to be a Nemesis. There has to be ultimate evil. Like, so with First Contact, it was the Borg Queen. With Insurrection, it was Rafu. With Nemesis, it was Shinzon, and so forth, so forth. It started to take that slippery trend of Star Trek becoming a little bit tropey in the fact that it needs to be. And you and me, as stars, have been talking about this sort of like, it has to be a big bad on top of everything.
Yeah. So, there you go.
Since you brought it back around to Borg Queen, I want to share my thoughts on that. She doesn't work for me on any level. All right, so she has this sort of implicit understanding of humanity. She jousts with Data early on, and then later with Picard. I think Idle mentioned like Asimovian abstractions of humanity, but if you go back through the history of the Borg, I'm not sure where that understanding comes in. In Best of Both Worlds, which is their second appearance, they assimilate Picard because they need a bridge to humanity. So they should have learned that from him, fine. But in the next episode, Borg, the A-plot is an ounce of individuality is so alien to them that it would destroy the Borg from within. Okay, so we've established they haven't really understood humanity yet. In Descent, which is the next one chronologically, we only get Borg separated from the collective. So we still haven't seen the collective tackle or understand humanity. And then really their next appearance is First Contact. So where is this overarching understanding coming from? I think they needed to pull on the Locutus thread earlier and say, okay, we from your bridge to humanity, we understand humanity better. I know they wanted to save like him interacting with her as the final, because that's just movie structure, but I don't think it really works for the understanding of it. I don't like the way she's written, sarcastic and sexy. That is pretty much antithetical to the most unique villain to date in the Borg. But I actually really like how Data interacts and his journey through humanity, but it doesn't work with the Borg. The Borg is the last alien race I would pick to teach him those lessons. On the other hand, it makes for a great action movie, and Picard's storyline through there with the Borg really works well. So it clashes at a lot of different angles. Also, I think we can all agree, I wanted to see Alice Krige as a crew member on the Enterprise get assimilated, and then she becomes a queen. That would have been way sweeter. Yeah. So,
this is why you like that. That was a concept in Regeneration, was that Alice Krige would be a medical tech and get assimilated. Yeah, she was gonna come back and play a medical tech who would get assimilated, and then she would be a thing in that. So, I do have a counterpoint about the Borg Queen and about the Borg.
Real quick, if you established her as a crewman on the Enterprise, that would save you from having to tie back to Best of Both Worlds to make it personal for Picard.
That'd be cool.
And the fun thing is, you had that crewman sort of like, you had the two crewmen when the sort of environmental sort of problems started coming up, and they sort of walked up the Jeffries tube. You had the female crewman walk up and climb up on the ladder and get assimilated. Could have been Alice Krige.
It should have just been her.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So in Gothic literature, there's like the concept of the sublime and the uncanny. And the uncanny is that which is very, very close to humanity, but not quite, that we recognize ourselves in, but shifted. And then the sublime is that which is ascended so far above humanity that it is no longer recognizable, and it can drive you mad to like the eldritch beings, for example, I consider sublime. And I think that hearing Idle talk about like the idea of the Leonardo da Vinci, like the Borg, like stalking around in our castle, I can kind of see it from that angle of them as Gothic villains, because like when you say a Gothic villain, like it summons things like, oh, vampires going through. It's like that's not what Gothic literature is. Gothic literature is actually about the conflict within humanity and like the moving between states of humanity and our understanding of the taboo and what we recognize as acceptable behavior versus not. And I think from that lens, the Borg and the Borg Queen make perfect sense as antagonists. And it also ties back to like H.R. Geiger and ideas of like sexuality as alien and of like that othering perspective. And I think in that regard, it works for me because everything that the Borg Queen does is an affectation of humanity. Like she performs sexuality, she performs all these like recognizable human behaviors. But there's this layer of artifice and of I don't care. Actually, I'm just manipulating you to get to a wider goal. And I think that's why, on some level, it works, because I don't think she actually gives a single shit about Data or anything else, but it's all just artifice to get at what she wants, because she is something so fundamentally inhuman that she can reach out to Data and appeal to him, but she is just so inscrutable and inhuman that, like, it's... I don't know, it's hard for me to describe, but that's part of the reason why it works for me, is because... She fits in that Gothic vein.
I get what you're going at, and I think it's sort of like the idea that sort of like humanity's sort of like corruption as sort of like assimilated through this sort of new lens. The Borg have no idea sort of how to sort of deal with Data and his ideals of humanity, so they will assimilate someone that might know. And I think this would like others say, like, this would have been good if someone had been assimilated with the crew rather than been this sort of like all-knowing Borg entity that had been there all the way. That's kind of where it falls apart a little bit for sort of most people, but I don't mind it because in my head I am still like in the I want like you can think of this film in two terms of like, okay, I am a long-standing Star Trek lore fan, and you guys know me, I'm a fucking lore nerd, but also on this sort of like terms of I want to watch a good film. And I think I apply this to so many films that I watch, especially with like Marvel films as well. Like, okay, we go through this whole like, how does this fit in the lore? But at the end of the day, am I watching a fucking good film? Yes, I am. And I kind of have to separate myself a little bit in regards to this, as much as I am a massive Star Trek film. And that how does the Borg Queen fit in this? And it gives us an antagonist that is very creepy. That has that level of implied sort of like surface level H.R. Geiger, Asimov kind of levels of sort of like surrealism that you might go, actually, this might get me interested in things like, you know, the laws of robotics and, you know, the concept of sexual humanity. You know, what can I then read further into it? You can't dump things on the general audience in an hour and a half to make them question that on a deeper level, the way that TNG does on a weekly basis. But it kind of works for me in that way. So I don't mind the Borg Queen. What they did after that is a completely different story, when they went to Dark Frontier and they went to fucking Picard season 3, worst of all, where they just went, hey, nostalgia bait, fuck you. Essentially, sorry, I'm rambling on. Before we go to
no,
bread,
you're all good.
Any other?
I actually,
go.
I do actually have a question about the Borg Queen. So it only kind of just occurred to me, but like you have these two story elements of like, you know, the birth of the Federation and the Borg, right? And obviously, like, there's a thematic link there in terms of like, you know, the birth of a society that is so richly celebratory of the individual and of every individual's beauty, and then the enemy that wants to wipe that all away and just, you know, render everyone a useless identical drone. And I always thought, I'm thinking now, is it a missed opportunity not to connect them more obliquely by having Because if you think about it from, like, say, Lily or Cochran's point of view, coming out of a Third World War, I almost wonder if there might have been value in making the pitch not necessarily at Data, or maybe not just at Data, but at maybe like a third person from the 21st century who had lost a lot, and was like, you know what? This cult of like the machine, where I don't have to think, I don't have to feel, I don't have to dwell on the people I've lost, I get to surrender to blissful eternity. Would that have been interesting? Is that a plot thread that they should have gone with, or do you think that's just something else? Because I feel like Voyager kind of touched on that with Seven and her trauma and the Raven and all that. But I almost wonder if it would have had a place here because of the stuff with the Third World War.
I think that dilutes the point of the Queen in the movie, which is to target Picard. And you say, you know, she doesn't really care about Data. That's mostly true. They kind of set it up as she's using him to get to Picard. And I feel like if you introduce either someone else or change her focus to someone else, that dilutes what is, for me, the best part of the movie is the Picard Moby Dick storyline. So I would prefer not to see that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't think there's room in the movie for that. I think that's its own movie.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah. Before we go on to Bread, I want to talk a little bit about Lily and sort of like the fish out of water audience analog for everything. Do you feel like that was accomplished successfully? Do you feel like Lily was the perfect translation for the audience to go like, what the fuck is going on? Hey, there's these cybernetic people. Oh my god, I've just walked into this 1920s. Like, oh my god, satin dress. What the fuck? Do you feel like Lily served a purpose like as an audience analog, or do you feel like she surpassed that point? Because I feel like there's an argument to say that she was only there to kind of introduce the new viewer to this future, or did she have an agency of her own?
I mean, I think she unquestionably has an agency of her own, because like by the time that she's introduced into the movie, we've already met the principal cast. We've already been introduced to what kind of like the central conflict is, and what the stakes are. You know, the entirety of Earth. I think that even a average viewer will kind of understand what the stakes are, even if they don't understand the nitty-gritty of it. Like, you know, knowing that a phaser can disintegrate people isn't really essential to the film's plot. I think that her role as an emotional anchor is way more important. And I definitely see Otto's point about her kind of supplanting a potential role for Crusher here. But I do really think that as a character, she's very well sketched out, and I'm glad they didn't make it romantic like they were in the original drafts. Because that would, like you're talking about, like diluting things. It would have been shoehorning a romance in here would have been so terrible.
Oh yeah.
Like serving purely as like something, a character for Picard to learn from and inspire in turn. That's a way more powerful statement. And I kind of wonder what the casting call looked like, because I'm curious if there was a significance to her being a black woman, or if it was a case of any.
They did say in the behind the scenes that she was the first choice.
Okay.
So I don't know if they wrote it specifically for her, but I think they had her, definitely had her in mind when writing the character.
That's nice. I like that. There was no sort of specific sort of like race call for that. It was just like, right, we want Alfred Woodard. You know, it's.
I agree. She serves two purposes, because she is directorially and writing wise, she is the blunt tool, so to speak, of which the non-fans, the general audience, views everything through. She is our eyes. But also, when you break down kind of the underlying story elements, I've said before, I feel like this movie is a 90-minute long therapy session for Picard to get over the things he needs to get over. And he is succumbing to the darkness, and he is not getting over it until he sees humanity through someone else's eyes, and he gets that from her. She becomes kind of his saving grace and allows him to go on some therapy that he needs again in a later show, but we'll get to that one day. And then that allows Picard to be that same thing for Data, who is completing the journey that we've watched him do for 9 years of I want to be human. And this is the closest we ever see him become human because he actually gets skin. And his emotion chip goes crazier than we thought it would in the previous movie. And for 0.68 seconds, he thought about being a shitbag, which is what it means to be human. And then he realized, nah. And so, she serves her purpose well for that. I think it's a crime that, other people might have had screen time or plot points taken away to serve that. Well, of course, but you're never going to get everything that everybody wants.
Okay.
So I'm glad you brought her up. Avery Woodard is just fucking phenomenal in this movie. There's zero acting choices that I would change from her, or even writing. Maybe there's something with Cochran, there's something with Picard I would change. But when I think back on what she did in this movie, I don't think I would change a thing. She does serve the analog for the modern viewing audience well. And those scenes that I said, could we do Bev just because Gates deserves better, frankly, in the entire run of movies, but I don't think they would have been better. Two specific things I think of when Picard sees her off in the escape pods, the whole I need to go save my friend, that's a nice story point that would have gotten lost with Crusher because she already knows why he has to stay behind.
Yeah.
And then when Picard loses it, what's the line? I will make them pay. And he's spittle flying out of his mouth. He would not go that far with Beverly because he loves and respects her, and he doesn't really love and respect Lily in this movie. She's a woman out of time that he doesn't really have a relationship with, and that enables him to go full bore on her, which is good for the movie's sake. But I guess the one nitpick I have is that she just understands him too quickly and too well. Because a lot of the early scenes they have together is just them fleeing from and fighting the Borg. She also doesn't understand the hundreds of years in the future dynamic, and I think a lot of that is just kind of like beamed into her character, and her understanding is a little bit higher than what I think would have necessarily come just from the scenes we see of them together. So that's really my only nitpick. But she
gets them from a to me, because that entire world is everybody there in Montana, straight PTSD from World War III. Yeah. And with the exception of being an alcoholic, Picard in this movie is PTSD. So she sees that and she's like, oh, well, this is everybody walking around that town.
Yeah, she's dealt with Zephyr for so long. So she's seen that kind of reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's all in that line of... and I think that Woodard plays it amazingly. Like, there's an inflection I love in it. You think you're the first person I've seen enjoy killing someone. I see it all the time. Yeah. And it's like, there's a degree of judgment in there. But I personally interpret it as like there's a degree of almost understanding of like, guess what? We've all had to do fucked up shit to survive. We've all had like petty grievances that went too far. I get it. And then he flies off the handle and she's like, okay, guess what? I had to drag you down to my level and remind you that guess what? You're 400 years in the future, but you're still acting out the same things we are. You are still the same fundamental human I am, despite 300 years of evolution. And I feel like that's part of the reason why she gets him so quickly. It's not because of like I think she is a fairly empathetic individual, but it's more just a case of like what Picard is going through is so very recognizable and universal to anyone who's gone through that kind of trauma. And that maybe also kind of adds credence to why it couldn't be Beverly, because like, we rag on the line of
I think she understands his backstory more than enough for what would be called in this episode. So
well, it's more just the cultural context of just like we rag on that season 1 line of what do you mean you have a headache? It's like 24th century human beings just have a very different understanding and conception of themselves.
You hate that line, don't you?
Because it's so stupid. Because it betrays a certain...
It's the future.
Because it betrays a certain Roddenberry-esque self-superiority about what the world was going to be like and what humans were going to be like. Of, no, human beings won't have personal conflict. It's like, no, human beings by their nature have to have conflict. It's how they grow. And because like Beverly is from the same culture as Picard, she cannot engage with them in the same way. On the same level, yes, but in the same way, no. And I think that's part of the reason why, like, yeah, no, she's incredible in this. Like, I absolutely see why she was their first choice. Like, I can't think of anyone else who could have played this role nearly as well. Like, I would have absolutely loved to see like Gates try it with a Crusher centric like scene.
We do see
I
that
think,
in
but it would be
Picard
very
season
different.
3. Like you do have the Picard and Crusher calling and it's Crusher on the other end of it on this occasion when sort of hidden Jack for all these years. So you know, it's you do get that. But yeah, in the perspective. For the average, I always think for the average viewer, it has to be someone sort of fish out of water, you know, audience perspective. It has to be someone to call.
Yeah.
And like everyone's saying, like, what the fuck are you doing, Picard? Blow up the ship. And he's like, no, I'm not going to do that. Has an argument with Worf, and like Alpha Water, has to walk into the ready room and say like, God damn it, Moby Dick, blow up the ship. Anyway, I think it's time. We have lingered along. We've been talking about this quite a bit. It's time to... Bread, your moment of the episode that stood out to you the most, in the same way that Cisco saying, Bread stuck out to us the most. Overtard, you are our honoured guest. What was your bread of the episode, or the episode of the film that stood out to you the most?
Oh, God. I was hoping not to go first.
Welcome to the jungle, kid.
No. This is good. This is a fucking great film. You get the pick of the litter.
A moment that sticks with me, not necessarily for good reasons. I don't know.
For any reason. When do you think first contact you think of?
It is probably the moment with I did cite it earlier with Cochran saying on the Earth that it's so small, and it's just like that's like, you know, that's Star Trek, you know. It's just like someone seeing possibilities, you know, and just for someone post-world, and like again, like I know I feel like I'm overemphasizing it, but it's like this is post-World War III. Their world ended, you know, like all of the post-apocalyptic fiction that's out there. It's like that's where they're living, and it doesn't dwell on it, but it's just like, you know, if for all we're no, like they're just abiding time until they all die, you know, and it's like, you know, it's just like that's where hope comes for him. You know?
Frank, your
I will. I should have said you stole mine. No, I will say one. I don't think Otto will pick or stars. I'm going to say overall, like the cinematography / directing of the entire movie was just chef's kiss. There's no bad shots. There's unique shots. You watch the whole thing and you're just constantly amazed, like, ooh, and how they did the Borg cream coming down and Data jumping down and the money shots of the new ship, which, like you said earlier, we all wanted, and they gave it to us immediately. And, you know, it's just
defined ship porn. Like, this is the film
it did.
Hey, not just a new Enterprise, you got an Akira, you got a Steamrunner, you got a Saber. They're all firing on the fucking boat. Sorry, no, I'm superseding. No, go.
Well, no,
I'm inserting.
When I think First Contact, literally the one word that I use is gorgeous. So
Awesome. Okay. I mean, Auto.
So I'm just checking dates on some things. This is probably one of the less bready Star Trek properties for me. There's a lot of moments that you remember, but nothing that really encapsulates the episode for me. I'm going to go, there's an image that plays a lot in my head when I think about this episode. It's actually just the little sphere leaving the Borg cube with a moment to spare before it blows up. It's just a neat little, like you never see escape pods from other species, and this is just a fun little thing because they've already established, how powerful spheres are on their own. I don't know. That's hard to explain. It's just the little escape hatch opening and it floating away is just, I don't know. That sticks in my head. Bread.
Oh, bread. Stars.
Something you wouldn't get with 30 times the budget of an episode.
It's true.
Stars gives you bread.
I'm gonna have to be greedy here, and I'm gonna have to pick 2 slices of bread. And I'm gonna justify it by piggybacking off of Auto's because
you don't need to justify it. It's your episode, Pig. You can do whatever you want with it.
That's true. So it's like a few seconds after we see the sphere exit, and it's like the long shot of the cube exploding, and just like watching all the individual ships and what they're doing. Like there's one ship that gets caught up in the explosion and blows up after, which I always think is a fucking bummer for those guys.
Absolutely, fuck you. At the end, there's like, no, we defeat the Borg cube, but fuck you.
Yeah. But the bit that always kind of sticks out of my mind that I always go, oh, that's a good little bit of flair, is the Akira that comes out toward the camera and does little flyby with the and just as if to put an underscore of that's how close we came. There's just this little flourish by ILM of the cube is gone. We were seconds away, and I just love that. It sticks in my brain, and I can play it in my head right now. The other bit of bread would be the moment when Assimilated Hawk comes back, and he's got Picard prone on the deflected dish thing, and he's looking not and he's looking in this odd way of just full body to the right while he's got Picard dead to rights.
Straight, but his head is to the right, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you've got the fucked up. You can't even tell how much of him has been converted already, and you're it has happened that quickly. It's yes, that's how quickly it happens, and that's how quickly it takes hold.
Very good.
It really struck me this time around. I could bread every moment in this movie if I wanted to, but in this particular playthrough, those 2 really stuck out in my mind.
Star Trek first bread,
and second bread.
Second bread. I am gonna go for just the pure amazingness of. You're gonna introduce your hero ship. So the Enterprise D got destroyed.
I might have known.
How are we going to introduce our new starship? Just by this pure, amazing pan around this fucking sexy, sleek, sovereign-looking ship behind a nebula as it pans across. Not just that, you get it fly into the camera, and then you get it to engage in combat. It saves the Defiant. It just looks good. S-tier class, sovereign class vessel. That is my bread of this film. I am a simple man. I see sovereign class ships. I vote bread. Okay, let's go for some best and worst.
The best advice I can give you is to just be yourself.
You're the worst thing that ever happened to Zek. You're the worst thing that ever happened to me.
Actually, that's the second best piece of advice.
In fact, you're the worst thing that ever happened to the entire Ferengi Alliance.
No.
Just stop saying that.
You're so proud of yourself for that one, aren't you?
I told you one of these days I was going to change that, and this was the best moment to do it. Best and worst moment of the episode. Overtide, what was your best and worst moments of this episode, please?
I'd say the best moment is the scene with Lily and Picard in the ready room, because that's so good. Worst moment is, what is the Borg's initial plan? And how do they settle on time travel? And just all those questions. But that's, the answer is because we need the plot to happen. So,
Frank, best and worst.
I won't steal the ones I know you're going to make. For me,
what's the point of going second if you can't just steal everyone else's? Come on, Frank.
I want to be kind. When I think of this movie and I smile at the introduction of Cochran in the bar with Troy and Riker. That entire series, like single camera shot for a second, and Riker's reactions to everything. It's slapstick, and you could do it outside of Star Trek and it would be laugh track central. It was really good. The worst, I mean, it's hard to find something in this movie you could cut. Yes, I know I said it's my fourth favorite Star Trek movie, but it's a very lean, it's a well done, well oiled machine. However, at the very end, the kiss Picard plants on Lily, no, that does not fit. That does not work. That's out of character.
He's French. It's
No.
Can I tell you a story? When, because my wife has some connections with people in France, so I went out there with her to meet some of her friends. I used to have long hair back then, glorious long hair, and I walked into a room and I was silhouetted, and this guy came over. It's like, bonjour, kiss me on both cheeks, and it's like, you are a man, does not matter. That is a very it's a French greeting. Picard is, hey. Okay, I've got to pick the next person to do this. Okay.
The thought of you with hair did that to all of us.
Hey, I've never shown you the pictures. Okay, that's fine.
No, I've seen them.
Yeah, I will go next. Best moment, and I am still gonna give this to the Enterprise E being revealed for the first time as just this amazing Sovereign class vessel, just being a beautiful ship. And the bonus point to the cinematographers have been taking every gorgeous angle, because we've seen, like, remember when the Discovery was first unveiled, and we looked at them and we just went, oh, that's kind of a little bit hideous, but it took like a few episodes for them to sort of reveal it in action, and the Titan A or Enterprise G at the time being revealed were a bit like, but you have to see it in motion. We saw the Enterprise E in motion for the very first time. They took every good angle of that ship. That is my best moment of this film. Worst moment is going to be Data flying down from the upper echelons of the Phoenix sort of launch bay is a very sort of cheap ILM sort of like, right, let's take this image and just zoom it. This is only going to be 2 seconds, but we noticed, we saw it was there. In which case, stars, best, worst.
All right. In which case, I'm gonna go with my worst moment, since you stole mine. Is the lack of anything substantial for Beverly to do. I'm not gonna go ahead and say that. I'm not gonna go ahead and say that Troy had the most to do, but I quote, "We don't have time to talk about time." To this day. I think that is a showcase of just how fucking funny Marina Sirtis is. And Gates did not get anything like that.
The Beta's ability to just sober up in the space of like 3 hours is amazing.
They're built different. I like the scene with her and the EMH, but guess what? That's the EMH's scene. It's not Gates' scene. She deserved something. She deserved better from all the movies, and because season 3 kind of did that back in due, but it's glaring that everyone else has something substantial but her. Best. Guess what? The rest of the fucking movie. I kept on trying to think of what do I like more? Do I like the Battle of Sector 001, where you've got all this really economical storytelling with just the ship models and all these new designs that have fueled Starfleet lore nerds for decades, and just Do I talk about Jerry Goldsmith's fucking incredible score from beginning to end with all of his little Vija twangs and the Klingon theme? Do I talk about Patrick Stewart giving a absolutely S++ performance that like everyone else is standing around going, Jesus Christ, I want to be as good of an actor as you? While Alfred Woodard also gives an S++ performance. Do I talk about the effects work? Do I talk about the zero-G combat scene? Do I talk about like the final meeting between like the humans and the Vulcans? Do I talk about how fun Cochran is? Do I talk about how every little bit of this has some love to it? And I just the rest of the movie, man. I can't pick it. It's perfect to me. It's perfect. Apart from that one thing that still was the worst, but guess what? It's still perfect.
I like this.
The worst.
Yeah, I like this. Like, right, pick your best moment, and you're the last to go. It's like, right, the rest of the film. Like, such a cop-out answer. Okay, let's go for.
It's my draft pick. I'm allowed to.
I can show you my rating code.
Schiller rating 3.5. Associational rating norm -3.
That's much too low a rating.
I'm just not accustomed to seeing an unsatisfactory rating on a member of my crew.
Stars, this is your film. This is your pick. What is going to be your rating code that has to be different from your pre-rating code?
Oh, I'm not worried about that.
The watch along with us for the what was it? The
how many flecks of space dust coming off of the maglocks?
Yeah,
you know?
Can't be that.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. I've got 4 other ones. I can't. I think I have one I want to settle on. But it's hard.
How many unhinged presenters of this show about this film out of 10?
You can't ask me to be normal about this movie. It's just not natural. I think I'm going to settle on this one because it's going to stick with me. How many films were 30 episodes budgets out of 10?
Fair enough.
My alternatives were how many grand piano escape pods out of 10? How many criticisms of counseling techniques out of 10?
Shouldn't they make grandma pianos?
Grandma pianos.
We can't joke about the grand pianos. One killed that guy's mom. We can't talk about that.
And I also had how many sticks of Borg Queen lipstick out of 10. But
that's good. I like that.
But I think it's how many films worth 30 episodes budgets out of 10?
So how many films? So you have to rate this. How many films worth 30 episodes out of 10? Out of 10.
How many 30 episodes budgets? Yes.
Okay. Frank, start us off.
Boy, start with the lowest. Here you go. You can only go up from here, boys. I am not being contrarian, and I'm not memeing when I do this. It's a great film. It's a great time. I enjoy watching it every time I see it. I enjoyed the time we had today. That said, it has some plot holes that I can pilot the Enterprise F through. And
boy, that's a long plot hole. A very long, thin plot hole.
Yes.
Oh, I'm thinking of the G, right? The J. What's that one that looks like it was made in the stretch tool?
The J.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So that being said, I will bump it up because it is the 8th Star Trek film, and I will give this 8 movies worth of 30 episodes budget that was spent, I think, appropriately. I don't think Frakes did it with hookers and blow. Out of 10.
You spent too much time in Vegas, Frank.
That's absolutely not.
Not enough. Yeah.
As I look out the window right now. No. What?
Okay, Overtard, give us your rating, please.
I would give it 9 30 times episode budget out of 10. I watched this maybe 6 months ago, and the Borg Queen, it's just how on for data she is, really stood out to me. Didn't stand out to me much watching it with people, so bumping it up there. But just yeah, it's a good movie. It's a good Star Trek movie. So
9 out of 10.
some, like the problems of like what was the Borg's plan is such a fun thing that even as a problem, it's fun. So
okay,
I can't hold that against it too much.
Just so we don't have 2 amazing ratings in a row, I'm going to go next. I am gonna give this. So I love this film. I have such an emotional reaction to this film because it is absolutely is the time as I massively got into Trek. Like I say, my history with Trek is that like my mum and dad divorced, so I used to go to my dad, and we used to sit and watch Trek together. That's how we used to bond, and then like best of both worlds happened, and we got very excited about that, and he got VHSs imported from the Americas just so we could watch that sequel in time, and we had a very bonding moment over it. So when First Contact came out, and we went to the cinema to see it together, and it was a very emotional point in my life, and it's sort of like it got me into starship porn in a very, very good way because the Sovereign was gorgeous. But not just that, we had the Akira, we had all this new, I've read the Art of First Contact and Generations book and seeing like the design of the various ships that sort of like they came together that ended up sort of influencing the ships that appeared on screen was amazing, and that's influenced things in the future. This is a very, very fucking good film. I can excuse stuff like the Borg Queen because it was entertaining, and as I've grown older, I can appreciate the fact that you want to make an entertaining film for the masses, and if you're going to introduce anyone into Star Trek, watch First Contact. Watch the Wrath of Khan or watch First Contact. Those are the 2 options. Or The Voyage Home. Actually, I will say The Voyage Home. If you want to be a bit pedestrian and say like, okay, watch these fucking kooks in 1980s America, fine. But it's just such a fucking entertaining film. I will, like Star says, this is his comfort film. This is mine too. Like, if I can't decide which Star Trek film to watch, I'll tell you what, it's not going to be Nemesis. It's going to be this. If I see it on the DVD shelf, yeah, and the fact that I sat and watched it with my 10-year-old son, who is not he's not a big sort of like he like me, he has the same amount of ADHD. But he sat down and watched it and went, fuck, I enjoyed that. It's 10.1 out of 10. I'm gonna make that difference.
Wow.
I'm gonna push the 0.1 because of how much I love this film. I'm not gonna say 11. I'm gonna put the 0.1 because I know there's gonna be a differential here. So Auto, please.
Wait, so why didn't you draft this? Because it was sitting there for 2 rounds.
Because Turnabout Intruder was there.
Oh, okay. And he's just secured another appearance next week on Trek. Way to go, Overtired.
Just trying to curry popular opinion. I see what you're doing, Overtired.
Idle.
I get you.
Idle. Eyes of the camera. 10.1 what?
Okay.
No.
Come on then, Auto, big man.
All right. My worst of this episode, since I was unceremoniously skipped over, it's the Borg Queen. For 2-fold reasons. One, because I think it doesn't particularly work for large elements of this movie, and then yes, what it does to the Borg ad infinitum. My best moment is going to be Picard's arc throughout this series, or throughout the movie rather. The actual quote, which they kind of bastardized, I wish they would have just stuck with a quote, or at least the part of it that he read from Moby Dick. All that most maddens and torments, all that stirs up the lees of things, all truth with malice in it, all the cracks that sinews and cakes the brain, all the subtle demonisms of life and thought, all evil to crazy Ahab were visibly personified and made practically assailable in Moby Dick. He piled upon the whale's white hump the sum of all the general rage and hate felt by his whole race from Adam down. And then, as if his chest had become a mortar, he burst his hot heart's shell upon it. Just the visual language of that is so intense. And Star Trek does a lot of Moby Dick episodes, and I feel like I just don't like that trope in general. If you're going to do it, read that section and then write your script. And the arc for Picard in this is sublime. They start small and they end huge. From him knowing exactly what's going on because he's so intimately familiar with the Borg, to finally that final line read of "I will make them pay." It looks like he's wearing a skin suit. The way his teeth rattle and his cheeks shake as he delivers that line. And I've seen him in 150 different episodes before this. He's never approached that level of emotion and rage. So that is easily my favorite part of this movie. They absolutely nail it. That being said, for my rating, this was easily the least I think I've enjoyed this movie. Partly, and I shouldn't say this because it kills the gimmick, partly because people were just loudly talking over 95% of it. And it's hard to digest a movie when that happens. It's not a call on anyone in particular. It's just hard to do that. And I told Stars this is probably going to be the first time I watched this with a critical eye. And I just, there were so many, there's plot holes, there's multiple retcons. A lot of the things that they do to pander to the general audience, I don't particularly like because I'm a diehard Star Trek fan. I got a whole list that I'm not going to go through, but partly because it's 3 times longer than an episode, so you're just going to have more nitpicks. I'm going to give this, and I would give it higher, I think, if I watched it alone. So, but I've got to give what I felt watching this one. I'm going to give this 7.5. No, I'm sorry, 7.4 movies.
Oh, that last minute redaction.
Worth 30 episodes of budget out of 10. Wow. I think it is a great movie, but it just, I don't know. I think there's just too many things that appeal to mass market versus appeal to what tugs at my Star Trek heartstrings. So,
give in to your hate. Give in to your anger. Yes,
I would
do
just like to formally apologise for skipping you over the best and worst. I do.
I'm going to get my shit in whether you like it or not.
I appreciate it. All right, Stars, take us home.
Like I said, it's impossible for me to be objective about this movie. I have to hold up my hands and say that, like, it's a part of me. I can no more divorce this from my understanding of Star Trek than I can divorce my understanding of love for my parents. It is essential to my love for Star Trek, this movie. My understanding of, like, it's exactly the same with Wrath of Khan, where it's like they are fundamental to my understanding of certain emotional states in life. It's a genuine comfort to me every time I watch it. I can quote it ad infinitum. I register that it's flawed. I register that there are parts of it that would, lead to ruin in other parts of the franchise, arguably. But in the end, I love it. And I don't mean I like it a lot. I mean, I genuinely, really, with all my heart, love it. This has a very special place in my heart. And it's a genuine joy every time I get to watch it for the first time with someone. Because I get to hear the excitement in their voice. I get to hear the thrill as they realize where Star Trek is going for the first time in a lot of this movie. And getting even just a little bit of that vicarious feeling is just, it's like catnip to me, because it's a reminder of what it was like the first time, of that mythic first time. Like I said, I can't be objective about it, so I have to give a non-objective rating of 11 films worth 30 episodes budgets out of 10. It's off the scale for me. Everything else, like, guess what? Wrath of Khan will get a similar treatment. I cannot be objective about it. It was my 3rd round draft pick for a reason. I just love it too much. I can't be objective.
I think, Stars, this is your first time going over the 10 threshold. You've definitely gone minus figures, but I think...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, at the end of that takes First Contact to a 9.1 after everyone's reviewed it. Believe it or not, we've reviewed reviewed First Contact less than Spock Amok, which was a 9.3.
Oh, look at me. What did I give that?
Extreme
What
risk.
did I give? What did I give Spock and Muck?
I will hang on.
You get like a 7, I think, or a 6.
Hang on, no, that's lower decks. Hang on, Spock.
Okay, forget it. What else does it rate up on?
Auto, you gave it a 7. So you're okay. You're
so
justified.
I like the movie better. There you go.
Is he not merciful?
Regardless. So Counterpoint, we gave a 9.3. Extreme Risk, we gave a 9.3. The Way of the Warrior, we gave slightly more. But the Stranger Worlds pilot was less. The Stranger Worlds season 1 finale, Quality of Mercy, less. Stigma, 8.9. So it is in high quality. This is up there with Star Trek film and episode royalty. It is definitely an absolutely amazing episode. I would like to thank our esteemed guest, Overtired. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for everyone in chat for replacing Overtired this week. Thankfully, you managed to employ some people to help you out here. We appreciate
the assist.
We do. We will be back soon. Please keep an eye out on the Discord and on the YouTube channel for our next watch along and other features coming soon. So, from myself and everyone else here, live long and prosper and stay assimilated. Bye-bye.
Next time on Star Trek The Next Generation, Captain Picard is secretly kidnapped and replaced by an alien imposter.
That's not the captain I know.
While the real captain is trapped with savage prisoners.
We are not the enemy.
The imposter is leading the ship into disaster.
You are endangering.
So, this is what we've decided. Lisa gets you Tuesdays and Fridays. I get you Mondays and Thursdays.
We, alternate Wednesdays and weekends.
Hold on, I don't think I'm old enough to hear this kind of thing. Ladies, good day. Romano, good luck. You can return my car in the morning. If you can still drive, I'm taking the bus.